have lower stress levels, more confidence, and greater self-esteem. And then there's the biggest benefit of all.
High school sports are fun.
Not just fun.
They're a lot of fun.
Encourage your teenagers to participate in a sport or activity when they go to high school. They'll stress less and smile more. And they'll be laying the foundation for a happier, healthier future.
This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
I'm Doug Russell. Baseball's All-Star break is over. The first-place Brewers home for their longest home stand of the season starting tonight. Milwaukee opens up a 3-game weekender against Miami. Tonight's Game 1 begins at 6:40. Logan Henderson will pitch against Sandy Alcantara. Entering play in the second half tonight, the Brewers lead the second-place Cubs by 5 games in the division. There was one game in Major League Baseball last night, the Mets turning away the Phillies 4-1. Minor League Baseball in the state and the Midwest League back tonight as well. The Timber Rattlers host Quad Cities. Beloit is at Cedar Rapids. And former Bucks star Giannis Antetokounmpo, formally introduced in Miami on Thursday.
You always hear about the Miami Heat culture and that guys work hard, guys are very disciplined, guys are very driven, and guys are very selfless and give everything that they can to win games. With the Bucks, we try to kind of recreate that culture, that we come in here, we do our job. It doesn't matter who shines. All that matters is winning.
The Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love.
Everybody wake up! Everybody wake up!
With the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, then there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller, for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 yards. You got to cut and crack. Now it's cut and crack. Red, right, 18, Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the board y'all do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3. Keep doing what you're doing. Get our guys after you and make the play. Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag. Be here and see puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid.
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
And Armen Sarian.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
On the air and taking no prisoners on a Friday in the good land. Welcome into the Huddle. I'm Drew Olson, joined by Armen Sarian. Billy Schmidt is off today as we enter day 2 of Smoke-ageddon. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Smoky haze covering our area. Do you feel any improvement, Armen? Is it better than it was?
The numbers say it is, but I don't feel improvement. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if that's a cumulative. My eyes have been itchy and scratching. I don't know if that's just our regular, 3:30 a.m. wake up call, or it's the cumulative effect of the smoke in my eyes. Because I didn't try to go outside last night, and I can't wait till we talk to Dolph in about an hour and a half, because he did spend a little time outside, and we'll have to ask him how that was. But even just taking the garbage cans back inside. Was a little rough, so I can't say I feel improvement, although apparently the standard measure says there is, but
the
it is really hard to
air
say.
Quality index, we're all checking. It's kind of like the a little bit like the wind chill factor.
Yeah, your 401k,
because it's like you look at it and like, all right, well, it's smoky, but how much more smoky is it? I took the dog out for a quick little tinkle, a walk.
Had to do his thing. It
at 4 o'clock, It's like 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon, and it was not good. And turns out we were like historically bad, and we had at one point yesterday in some parts of our listening area the worst air quality in the world.
Worst in the world, which is like, boy, now I know what it's like to live in smog areas and things like that.
Yeah, well, it used to be like in the 70s before they started to mitigate some of these things.
Well, makes you appreciate the good air that we have most of the time of the year. That's for sure. You mentioned it yesterday, Drew. It's not something you're going to take for granted again. And I'm just hopeful for some sort of change in the atmosphere to blow this thing out. You getting any relief by the lake yesterday or anything?
It wasn't as bad.
Some people were reporting that it cleared up a bit last night, but
I was having trouble seeing, the U.S. Bank, the biggest building in the city. I had trouble seeing because it was just
like a big fog, basically.
The haze.
Yeah.
Like
a
so
haze.
We
in a
were.
fog.
It was hazardous, and now that begs the question because they played a ball game last night in Philadelphia, and it was hazy, and they moved it up an hour. They informed the teams at 4:00. Like, can you imagine being a fan and like what? Like they moved it up from 7:10 first pitch to 6:10.
Is that because their worst air was going to be coming later?
Yeah, they figured it was going to get worse after dark.
Well,
and there were some guys said it was a little bit difficult tracking fly balls. Got me thinking, what's the roof status tonight? Does closing the roof at American Family Field help or hurt?
I was talking with some people around the building yesterday and just thinking about it. I'm not sure it really helps because you want air. It's sort of like when the fireworks go off after a home run, Drew.
Yeah, it just lingers.
It lingers, and after a while, it dissipates. But you can get something. Now, people have said, the best thing to do is run your air conditioning, circulate air, clean air. That little button in your car that's got the cycle.
Oh yeah,
that you want that. So then I thought, well, okay. At first, I thought, well, it's not good to close the roof because unless they can pump the bad air out of the panels, right?
Yeah.
Then you get the clean air in. Maybe you could trap in good air. And then I thought to myself, maybe that would be a good way to do it. But it just feels like it might suffocate in there. But I can't imagine it would be any better if it's open because then all the dust particle air comes in. So I'm not really sure. I'm sure that they have a lot of discussions going on right now at One Brewers Way and at American Family Field. They're talking about the situation now and what the best course of action is, what the best thing to do is. Yeah, my first thought is, okay, that's why we have a roof, close it, pump good air in, but I'm not sure it's all that simple. We like to think everything's that simple. I heard a million people with the same suggestion yesterday. Why can't they just get planes up to Canada and dump water on it like it's that simple?
Yeah.
It's never that simple. So I would like to think they're going to find a way to get the game in and figure out if you can get good air in and circulate it with, now can they air condition American Family Field? They don't, right?
Nope.
It used to be like a thing people talked about, but they
don't. They're talking about retrofitting it with
right.
Air conditioning and HVAC, like just heating. They need to call Donovan Jorgensen.
They need to call our friends.
Get them to set it up.
Because that was never a plan. And when they built it, it was not the plan. The whole idea was, we're not going to heat or cool this whole place. It's just going to cover us in case of precipitation. So therefore, I'm not really sure you can. Now, what would be more pleasant is, I guess, it's maybe a matter of some subjectivity, closed or open. But we were hoping to go tomorrow night. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going if it's like this. I'm not going to sit out there and suffer just to, watch us try and hit the Marlins pitchers. Not that I don't think we can, but it was just unbearable to be out there.
Alcantara's pretty good, right?
Yeah, they is good. Yeah. So we'll see how that goes. And then it's Bubblehead tomorrow night. So, but we were going to go tomorrow night, which some reports say will be even worse.
Yeah,
so I don't really know.
They just don't know. I mean, the reports are that there will be, some rain west, like Madison. Our folks in the 608, shout out 5 o'clock club members from Madison represent.
What's up, Madison?
And people listening around the state, but
they should get a break then a little bit.
Yeah, then if it rains, you'll get a little bit of a break. But if a cold front moves in next week, it could push this stuff here again. I guess. What you need is strong southerly winds, right?
Southerly
winds out of the south.
We need to get hot again, right?
Man, it's awful. It's awful. And I had someone say to me, like, do you ever remember this when you were a kid? And I'm officially now old. And no, I don't. It's almost like the climate is changing during our lifetime.
There's
stuff like this.
There was a lot of argument about that yesterday. I mean, like anything else, Drew, this is 2026, so everything becomes political.
Of course.
But you can't, I remember a lot of things from my youth. If there's any talent I have, it's having memories of my nostalgic youth.
Oh, yeah.
I don't remember this at all. Now, I remember other things we had problems with, but I don't remember this one. And what the reason for that is can be debated.
It seemed like snow. We got more snow and more intense snow.
More intense cold, too. Maybe
but it does seem like with the extremes, man, on the margins, like, stuff like fires and tornadoes,
maybe
hurricanes. It does seem like that's more.
And then people will say, well, you're just more aware of it.
It's just the climate. Yeah, you're just more aware of it.
Because it's pushed in front of you. So I don't know. And then these things always devolve into culture wars.
Yeah, culture wars. Exactly. Well, but there is
that's
science.
when I leave myself out. Yeah, no, I mean, that's definitely a possibility. Now, I also saw some people say, well, it was this bad, but it was just in newspaper clippings. and they would show old clippings of like Canadian smoke in the 50s. I don't know. Maybe this is anecdotal, but I just don't remember it happening because this has been pretty consistent every summer now.
This is pretty much the worst that we've ever had it. And a couple of years ago we had it, but it wasn't this bad.
I didn't suffer.
It didn't go double.
Yeah.
I mean, if hazardous is the 300 AQI, I don't even know what that stands. I mean, what that measures, but we were at like 600. We were double hazardous yesterday.
And
again, worst air quality in the world.
I think the worst we had, the worst in the world. I think the worst we had it a few years ago to start at least was just like, oh, the sun looks kind of cool because it's hazy. It wasn't like dominating
it
your
was
breathing.
still smelling campfire-ish a couple of years ago. I remember, but it wasn't this oppressive.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's exactly the way to put it. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm leaving town tonight. I'll be out of town for the weekend, and then hopefully I'll come back to some clear skies. But
hopefully you're going somewhere where it's more clear.
I have to worry about tornadoes where I'm going, but that's it. But no, it's going to be just hot and should be clear according to the forecast. But I'm interested to see what'll happen because that changes the dynamic when they close the roof on a balmy, humid night. That ball's going to jump out of there.
Definitely jump some more.
Becomes a little bit more of a bandbox.
Feels more like that humidor.
So, I don't know. Anybody got any recommendations? And will this impact? My question is: does this impact your decision to go and do stuff? I mean, I might not want to run a half marathon in this, right? I mean, that you've trained for, and like they should probably think about canceling stuff like that, but or postponing, not maybe canceling. But does this impact your decision to go to a Brewers game? Like, we'll just stay home and watch it on TV in the air conditioning, and we won't, we won't venture out. Does this impact like? There are people with asthmatic conditions. I feel it, man. Back of my throat, that post-nasal thing, and then even in the chest. I feel it. Just from being outside for a little bit. I didn't spend hardly any time outside yesterday except for a quick dog walk.
Which makes you wonder, would have been worse if you did.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it affects my decision-making for sure. Because, first of all, I have a toddler. I don't want them out there, when it's this bad either, breathing this stuff in. So you have to think about that with the safety, but more just the comfort. I mean, what I enjoy taking walks, as you know, Drew, daytime, evening, in the summer. One of my favorite things to do is take long walks. I enjoy the exercise. I enjoy the fresh air. I enjoy, obviously, all those things, that comes with enjoying nature. But it's much less enjoyable to do it than just to stay inside when it's this bad. So all the things I enjoy about it, I can't enjoy. So therefore, I'm absolutely not going to go when it's that bad. That's just the decision you make. You got to stay inside and hope to breathe some fresh air. So it definitely affects it.
Didn't even bother to go to the pool yesterday. And it was part of my plan was to spend some time at my pool.
Well, that's the thing. We only get so many days like this in the summer, and it's taking them away. It feels like lost money, right? Pink Flamingo, BN. Good morning, happy Friday. My husband and I were talking about this yesterday too. We do not remember air quality ever being this bad here. We will not be going out this weekend. So a lost weekend in July for Wisconsinites is like. That's like losing a couple paychecks in a way. Like you don't expect it, you don't plan for it, and it feels like you'll never get it back. So I don't know. It's pretty rough. Vinny and Mequon, good morning. It's Friday. Good morning, Vinny. 5 o'clock club.
Good morning, 5 o'clock club. Please check in. We love it. From the 319, I got married in Colorado during their biggest wildfire they've ever had. I feel your pain.
Well, that's tough because you can't really cancel you could cancel a wedding, but you try not to.
Report from Janny in Appleton. Janny says, it was definitely smokier here last night. I was out with my dog about 11. It seemed about as bad as it has been. We were supposed to get rain overnight. That didn't happen. Hope they play the game tonight. I think they'll play. It's a matter of roof open, roof closed to me because MLB's got to plow through. You don't want to start with a doubleheader because you don't know when it's going to get better. This could impact the World Cup game on Sunday.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's
Jersey.
That's in Jersey, right?
They're supposed to get rain on Saturday, which would tamp it down, and they think that they're going to catch a break there, but that would suck. They actually played a game, I believe the Gotham FC women's team last night.
Okay.
Played a game, and they had hydration breaks every 15 minutes. To give them, I don't know if it was hydration break or a respiration break.
Soccer purists must have hated that.
They didn't like it. It's like if you're going to do that, then why not? Why even play the game?
Why even play? It's not even real. I could see baseball plowing forward because the schedule will get totally bogged down.
Yeah.
But I could see World Cup saying, no, this is our greatest magnum opus. This is our final. We don't mind waiting a few days and making everyone wait a few days if we have to. I know it's a lot of logistics, but for a World Cup final, Spain, Argentina, you want to display the best in the world. You want them to be at their best. That's going to be interesting, Drew, because I don't think last night, the way it was here, let's say it's that bad in the Meadowlands, I don't see how you could have everyone at their tip-top performance. First of all, you think about it, could you even get a good view of the game with the cameras? Remember the Fog Bowl? I know you remember the Fog Bowl in Chicago. It can be tough to watch some of those games on the telecast. So, I don't know, a lot to think about, I think. I mean, it's easy to, I think that baseball will plow through and they'll play. But if it gets bad enough where people start saying you're putting people in danger, no one wants bad PR either. That's right. So.
From the National Weather Service, Milwaukee office, 5 minutes ago, another warm and smoky morning across southern Wisconsin. As southwest winds develop today, rain chances will increase and smoke should begin to move out of the state. An air quality advisory remains in effect until noon. Additional chances for rain with cooler temps on Saturday.
Well, fingers crossed. I mean, that's
cooler
what we need.
temps also means like that could push more smoke our way.
Right, because that's northerly winds.
Yep.
Somebody was complaining to me, or I heard somebody complaining yesterday. It's like, well, everything moves west to east, doesn't it? Why isn't this, he thought I was a conspiracy. I was like, no, it's not that simple. Wind can move in all kinds of directions.
Oh, yeah.
Generally, weather moves west to east. I understand that. But, wind can move all kinds of directions and blow the atmosphere around. And it's frustrating. But I do like making Minnesota my boogeyman. I enjoy that. I understand, Canada wildfires, but this is also northern Minnesota. Great. Another thing to blame Minnesota for. It makes, I can cope that way.
It's a whole song by the South Park guys.
Blame Canada. Yeah, I remember that one.
We played that last time there was fires. I remember playing that one last time we dealt with this. So,
good times.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. It's like beautiful sunsets. Okay, whatever. I'm old enough to remember that at the Old County Stadium, the Brewers and White Sox playing a game that was so foggy that they had a fog delay. And then they came out and the umpires come out and they wanted to test whether, outfielders could see the ball. So they sent outfielders out and they hit fungos.
Hit fungos in the outfield?
To the outfielders.
That's kind of cool.
To see if they could see the ball. And then it was weird because the Brewers did it with their coach, Duffy Dyer or somebody went out and hit some fly balls. But then the White Sox had to send their guys out and had their own fungo guy because they didn't trust, I guess, the Brewers fungo guy.
Imagine the pressure of being the fungo
and
hitter.
that was
usually it's just grounders. You get pressure to hit fly balls 300 feet.
They hit fly balls. Yeah. And then there was talk about whether to keep going or whether the wind picked up, and it was pea soup fog, and that was one of those weird deals. And another thing that we take for granted now that we have an indoor stadium. So they have the option, and I'll be fascinated to see what the mechanics are and what the logistics are. Do we close the roof? Does it help, or does it trap smoke inside? Like you said, that's a good analogy because when the roof is closed and they let fireworks off, it tends to stay there. Even on warm, muggy nights without much wind, you get a haze from the fireworks.
Yeah.
And you can definitely, it's palpable. So
it does eventually go away. I mean, that's going to happen, but there are times. What? Do you remember in Super Bowl 31 when the Packers, obviously Patriots, the halftime show with the Blues Brothers and whoever it was, and even in the halftime show, the smoke was lingering for much of the third quarter. I remember Madden and Summerall kept commenting on it because some of the vents were covered up by banners, and I don't know. It's one of those things we just take for granted. It's good air quality, and maybe that's a good lesson for all of us, as we shouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
But to feel like you need fresh air and to not be able to go outside and get it is sort of a weird feeling. And you're like, oh wait, I feel trapped. And it's scary kind of. And so hopefully hopefully we get some action in the wind and the rain and all kinds of stuff, and we can get this stuff moving through soon. I mean, because it doesn't seem like anyone has a problem to stop these fires.
This tickle in the back of my throat, man. We're playing hurt. We'll soldier on. Billy Schmidt is off today. We're going to keep bringing it to you. Fridays hit different on the Huddle. Today, we'll have a guest appearance by Hunter Baumgardt. He worked last night. He's back. He did a Milwaukee's baseball tonight last night to get us ready and went through some of the great moments of the first half. Maybe we can get Hunter to revisit some of those with us when he joins us at 7:20, 7:25-ish. And we'll talk to him about what lies ahead for the Brewers. They've made the first move of, I think, several. Lance McCullers joining the club. He'll be around today and be interviewed, I'm sure. Giannis made his debut in Miami. We'll talk about that. I thought it was interesting. He gave the rationale for his new number.
There's a lot. I think there's a lot to unpack there.
A lot to go through.
This might be my coping, but I sensed a certain emotion from Giannis.
Yeah.
And I'd say melancholy.
That Eric Name from The Athletic was there.
Yes, Eric covered it.
Yeah.
To the chagrin of some Bucks fans, which I have to also push back against.
Yeah, that's come on.
I mean,
hey, he should be at the summer league. Come on.
Because they're like 12-year-olds coping on Twitter. That's what it seems like to me.
Yeah.
But whatever.
Yeah. I mean,
people just don't understand what's
I
going
don't
on.
understand the news value, right? So if you want to reach out to us, we appreciate you. Check in. Just say hi, 877-794-1973. How smoky is it by you today? I'd like to hear how that is going. And what do you think? You voting roof open, roof closed? We're all guessing right now. I have no idea what they're going to do. It might be better to leave it open and get air moving. I'm not sure.
I wonder if they know.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
We'll all find out together. All right. Off and running. It is the Friday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Obviously, you're known as number 34, but it's changing number 7.
Yeah.
Why and what does that number change represent to you?
Okay, I wore 34 because my mom was born 1963, my dad was born 1964, so I took the 3 and the 4. And if you add 3 and 4 equals 7. And my mom was born April 7th. That's why the reason I changed my number. But I think the reason that I really changed my number is because I feel like, 34 holds so much weight and has so much history. And out of the, respect to, the organization that drafted me and I played for 13 years, I decided to leave that number there and try to start a new chapter. Hopefully I can leave my mark here in Miami and make number 7 as legendary as number 34. But it's almost like kind of having a closure for me, mentally and emotionally, just to have a closure from that number because it meant a lot to me. And number 7 looks good. It's fresh. It's clean. I saw some kids wearing it in the street, so I'm excited to create more moments with that number.
That's Giannis from his introductory press conference in Miami. Drew and Armen bringing you to the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, worldwide on the iHeartRadio app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube for all the early risers, insomniacs, sociopaths. We'll get into the health club early. And 5 o'clock club members. Armen, I know when I heard that, I'm like, oh, that's going to hit Armen in the feels.
Yeah, it did a little bit.
That 34 is his Milwaukee chapter, and he wants to leave that for Milwaukee and not go on and wear the same number. Now, Aaron Rodgers left Green Bay and never wore 12 again.
Yeah, but that was all.
But that's because it was retired at both cities he went to.
Yeah, it was retired in both cities. So I'm not sure if he would have done that or not.
What if Giannis had dropped out of respect to Ray Allen and his legacy with the Heat?
Well, that would have been a little more hollow for me because then you would have never worn 34 in Milwaukee.
True.
Right? Because 34 in Milwaukee was something he probably requested and they just gave him, but he probably never aware of what was going on with the Bucks or Ray Allen at all when he came here. So I think he just picked that. But if they told him, listen, we can't give you 34, he would have picked something else.
The Bucks issued 34 though because they traded Ray Allen. George Karl maneuvered that, and it was okay. One of the big blunders in franchise history.
It was. And
but
maybe they wanted to get people forgetting about that.
Yeah, so
didn't work.
So they traded him, so they didn't feel like there was any special pull to that number.
Which
look at uniform numbers is an interesting topic. It always is. Like I don't pay a lot of attention to it, but the Brewers never retired Jim Gantner's number 17.
Yes,
they haven't issued
it, right? And how they decide to retire numbers is kind of specific, right?
Yes, and then what will the Brewers do with number 8? Ryan Braun.
That's a good question because
kind of hold on to that one because he's in the discussion. They made the decision on Gantner that they're not going to retire his number. And I think that's kind of appropriate actually, because if they wanted to keep the standard of being Hall of Famers,
sure.
Right. So,
but there are guys that were Brewer Hall of Famers. I'm sorry, Hall of Famers that played for the Brewers significantly that aren't retired, which you'd understand. But then some people kind of side-eye Raleigh.
Sutton or
Don, now Dave. I mean, there are other guys.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was sitting around saying Don Sutton should be retired as a Brewer.
But then
Raleigh was,
Yeah, but so Raleigh was, but Raleigh, that was a special case, and
he did have an MVP year.
Yeah, he was an MVP, Cy Young, and that was back in the days when they'd have that ceremony to sell tickets.
Well, that was like Kareem was doing with Marquette for a while. Was starting to put up a lot more numbers to try and embrace tradition more, get people excited. And there was a stretch of like 5 years when he put up a bunch of numbers.
Yeah.
And Earl Tatum, Maurice Lucas, which all deserved. Don't get me wrong, but so everyone's philosophy on number retirements is interesting. It's different, and it's always debated, Drew. And I know some people would say, well, a guy like Ryan Braun had more of an impact on the Brewers. A guy like Jim Gantner had more of an impact on them, or I don't know about it. Maybe Cecil Cooper, for instance. But those numbers aren't up. But it is an interesting topic, right? And when you start just to think about numbers, and then you think about what Giannis said about 34. I appreciated that. That was nice that he mentioned that. I also think he mentioned it, and I think it's kind of a window into his soul that he said it helps my own emotional closure. I think he needs it because I saw the pain in his eyes yesterday. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, Armen, you're just coping. And maybe that's true. But I don't know. It just seemed pretty obvious to me. It was like kind of a sad reality for him that he was actually going to be in a different uniform other than the Bucks, which is okay. And I think it's natural. And I think maybe he'll get over that at some point and start getting used to his new home. But I don't know. I saw a little sadness in his eyes when he
regularly referenced the Bucks in Milwaukee.
I think he get over it.
That was a big part of it when he changed the number and the closure. One of the interesting things that came out of yesterday, I don't know if you caught this, Armen, like Pat Riley said, he misspoke, but he said the deal was agreed to, he said July 23rd. He meant June 23rd. And it didn't pop until like July 6th, I think.
Yeah. So basically, it popped on July. No, it popped before that.
Did it?
It was official on July 6th. But
July 6th was
we
official.
knew about it before that. Yeah.
But it was agreed to on the 23rd, I guess. Yeah. And then it popped. But he couldn't talk to Giannis right away, right? Until it's like official.
Right. There's some rules.
So there's all the
regulations.
legalities and all that.
You talk through agents and things like that. He also said he wanted to land another plane, and that was the LeBron plane. So I was also curious how much Giannis enjoyed his introductory presser being dominated by LeBron talks.
Well, it was also funny that they didn't have Giannis and Bobby together. A lot of times you acquire two guys, it's one presser, 2 for 1. They're both up there. You ask questions. No, they did them separately, which was interesting.
Yeah, I was talking to Hunter about that yesterday because when Hunter was here, we were both here, and I said, Hunter, they're going to have the introductory presser today because of the initial report was Giannis and Bobby will be introduced Thursday. So I assumed they were together, and he goes, Bobby's going now. I'm like, did we miss something? But I guess they wanted it to be separate. And Bobby had the suit on and said he's a Huddle. And I said this yesterday on Twitter. And I don't know, people said, because I just started the account again. And I think it's true. I said it was clearly hitting Bucks fans in the feels when they saw these things and they saw them both say things and they saw Bobby saying, I'm ready to be a Huddle. I said, you guys, they got to pander to their new bosses, their new fans. So don't take this stuff too seriously. Deep down, these guys felt the connection to Milwaukee, and this is just what you got to do. But I think Bucks fans were starting to take it hard yesterday, which I totally get. To say, like, Bobby, I thought you said you found a home in Milwaukee and you never were as happy here. So how can you say you got to do it? I mean, this is what you got to do when you're introduced with a new team. These are your new bosses. These are your new fans. It is what it is. Don't take it too much to heart. Does that make sense? I don't know.
Good advice.
This is all emotional coping we're going through as fans.
Oh, yeah.
And we were talking a little bit about how I saw some Bucks fans on Twitter lashing out at poor Eric Name, which was unnecessary, just because he went and covered a newsworthy event.
Yeah, what's he doing? Like, put him on the heat beat. Let him stay in Miami.
This is just coping from kids who don't realize that journalism's not about being a fan.
Yeah,
but this is one of the biggest debates now in our business, as you know, Drew.
I will say this, and I've been doing this for a long time, and
you are a long veteran.
Not a fan per se,
right?
But I understand the psychology of it. But to say that, like, do you really think that in terms of like news judgment, that what happens, like the Bucks, I don't even know if they played in the summer league yesterday. I think they probably practiced or something, but it's like anything that happens in the summer league is more important than Giannis's the farewell. I applaud outlets because I don't think the Journal Sentinel went. Jim Ozarski didn't go. It's like, because they don't, the budgets have been slashed, and they used to be, you would do stuff like that.
And it's clearly of interest to Bucks fans. And it's clearly newsworthy.
And it's the first one. It's not like it's not like we're going to get in this market. If Giannis scores 40 or something, or, triple doubles, like you'll hear about it. They might sprinkle in a Heat reference where they wouldn't have in the past. Right. But his first time, and he's talking about Milwaukee and his time in Milwaukee. You're damn right. That's newsworthy. It's more newsworthy than anything that happens in the flipping summer league.
Right. But there's some,
it's like, it's not even close.
There are so many fans now that will look at it like
he's a traitor.
He's a scoring lover. You're a traitor for even caring about him because he cheated on us. Like that's you should be. But even coaches now will say like, get mad at beat writers saying they should be a fan of the team and things like that.
They should just support us. Well, that's idiotic.
No, it is, but it also reflects a change. I agree with you, Drew. I want you to know that. I mean, I went to J school 20 years ago, but it reflects a change in how people look at these things. They want fans now to be the podcasters and the voices of the team and things like that. So it's a deeper debate there. Go Pack Go 1000. Giannis looked very sad, very obvious. Looked like a sad puppy. Yeah, I guess I sensed the same thing yesterday. And I know the Heat fans found my mentions and said, you're just salty and things like that. I don't know. Maybe you're right, but I don't know. This is something I noticed. But, yeah, I didn't like the way people were going after Name either. And there's no question what happened yesterday was 100,000 times more newsworthy than whatever happened in the Summer League. even though it surprised me the last couple of weeks how much people paid attention and put stock into Summer League results.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember ever growing up thinking about, caring about Summer League. And I was a huge fan. I still am. Obviously a huge Bucks fan. But I didn't put any stock into it because I knew these games were less than preseason. They didn't even count at all. So, like, the way people were jumping on Nate Amens, and I'm like, this is Summer League. There's zero indication of what might be happening. I mean, Rashad Vaughn scored 25 a game in Summer League. Like, relax.
Yeah.
So, sorry. I know I went off on some tangents there, Drew, but kind of dumping my bucket on thoughts on yesterday.
No, that's what the show is for.
Yeah.
And you can dump yours at 877-794-1973. The number thing was interesting. The video of him finding his locker, like before he got to South Beach and he got to the complex and everything, and he had to have a brief, hard workout before he went to press, which was interesting to me.
I think that was good for the social media teams and stuff.
Yeah, and that kind of tells, and that's the way, and no one's going to question Giannis's work ethic.
No way.
And
of course, it's legendary.
And so is Heat culture. So that's what makes this such a fit, right? Is like the Heat, everybody does it. Jimmy Butler going back, and like they have this Heat culture. Now,
he said he was curious about the culture and everything like that.
Yeah, and it's like it's a well-established reputation in the league that the Heat are known for working harder, and though they live surrounded by temptation and nice weather and Miami clubs, and
they live in the laps of luxury, but
Beach
they
thongs.
like to thongs, but they like to tell themselves that they're all about.
But they're all about it. Yeah. It was interesting though. So Bobby got some run, and Riley called him the prototypical power forward and everything, and then Spoelstra talked about how they always hated that Bobby, like we hated hearing that, but we loved his intensity and stuff, but we hated that chant.
Yeah.
When Bucks fans would do that.
Absolutely.
That was funny.
I get that. I think from the outside looking in, you'd say, boy, Bobby's a great piece.
Mhm.
Energy, can shoot, can bring the edge. Although I don't think defense was his strong suit, which I think is funny about that.
Yeah.
So that you could, I mean, that's what the basketball.
They've had players like that before, though.
You know what though? I don't think, and he said prototypical 4. I don't think of him that way either. But hey,
not necessarily.
He's
no.
to throw into that. We all know the situation.
Mhm. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Now the other shoe, and they kind of left the door open that they're pursuing LeBron.
Yeah, I could answer questions
and
about
LeBron
that.
did his first availability, and he's still kind of toying and not close to committing yet. But he was like asking the crowd at this Fanatics thing. He's like, where should I go? And then people are, I hear Warriors, I hear Sixers, I hear this. Now, here's the thing: can LeBron do another decision? I don't think he'll do another decision. But if LeBron signs anywhere but Cleveland, it'll break with a Shams report. If he goes back to Cleveland, LeBron will release it. That's my theory.
That's a good point. I think
that's my theory. Because
yeah.
like he can't do that to Cleveland because their hopes are up.
He obviously, I don't dislike LeBron. A lot of people do. I respect everything, but obviously ego is a big part of what he does. It's hubris. He likes having attention on him. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So this is kind of part of that. Again, he's doing like the I'm going to keep you guessing tour.
Because he didn't go to college and get to sit in front of the hats and pick a hat and put it on and pretend to put one on and do the fake.
I think he knows the decision was bad for his image, but I think he'd like it to be that. He'd like to do that again. But so this is that version of it, Drew. Kind of like keeping everybody in limbo, going on the. So he was at. I don't know how he got it. Tyrese Halliburton got him on the podcast. So this was the Mind the Game podcast. He went on at this Fanatics Fest, which is like a sports lifestyle festival, I guess. I didn't know about it, but he went to this Fanatics Fest and went on this Mind the Game podcast, and that's where Halliburton started talking to him.
Mm-hmm.
Why Tyrese Halliburton? Why that podcast? I don't know. Did he get paid to go on there? Was he contractually obligated? Is it a Rich Paul thing? It doesn't make any sense to me why that would be the one he'd start to talk to. Now he didn't reveal anything, so he didn't bite when Hallie tried to ask him and things like that. He clearly enjoys this, and it is what it is. I mean, it's a little hubris, but hey, whatever.
Yeah.
877-794-1973 gets you in. And
we might be looking at him doing this in like 30 years for retirement homes.
Right. From the 608, did you guys see Giannis was at the Argentina-England game? Flashed on the broadcast. Yeah, I saw him. I had a little FOMO because he was shaking hands with Mick Jagger.
Yeah, you talked
Mick
about
Jagger, and he was like up in the high roller suites. Pretty sweet.
No, I can't begrudge him for that. I would go if I had tickets. Everyone's like, oh, he's sitting with the glitterati now. I'm like, hey, I would go to that.
Yeah.
I don't think he was there.
Yeah.
He's enjoyed a lot of stuff this summer. Yeah, I saw him in an F1 race, I think. So he's making the rounds, enjoying his life. I don't begrudge that man at all. I know some people I think they cope better by trying to feign some anger at him, and people are still tweeting at me saying he's a liar, he's a traitor. I saw he mentioned the kids yesterday in Miami that he ate Oreos for the first time again, and everyone's like, see, you're lying again. The Oreos. Like, come on.
Yeah.
He's just messing with the kids. Like, you guys are too serious about this right now.
Absolutely. We are off and running with the Friday edition. Billy out today. We're going to sprint on into the weekend, and then I'm going to take next week off. How about that?
How about that, Drew? It's
Didn't take the week
season.
off of the All-Star game, which I did last year, and maybe I'll slide into that next year. And by the way, we know when that's going to be because the Brewers put out their schedule yesterday.
So random. MLB, unlike anyone else, releasing their schedule to zero fanfare like a half a season early.
Yeah.
Whereas
incredible.
Everybody else does
but
it late.
You can make your plans.
Yeah,
I
great.
dig it. I'm here for it. I love that they do that. Now we know when opening day is. You can start making your plans. We'll talk about that and more as we move forward. Once again, Dolph joins us for halftime coming up at 6:25. Hunter Baumgardt at 7:25 with some hardcore Brewers chat as they get ready to open the post-All-Star game portion of their schedule tonight at American Family Field with the Marlins in for 3. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew and Armen bringing it to you, the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. This portion of the program brought to us by Game Day Men's Health. Check them out, GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Great website, great people. Check out the locations. There's one near you, I'm sure, because they're everywhere. Interesting. It's a men's health clinic built for every journey, trusted by men across the United States and Canada. They have 400 clinics, and it's growing. Testosterone therapy, peptides and vitamins, weight loss clinics, anti-aging and longevity, sexual wellness, hair loss treatments, sports injury recovery, all the services. You can find it at Game Day Men's Health. Sign up for a consult at a clinic near you and get going. Change your life with the folks at GameDayMen'sHealth.com. All right, we're talking about Giannis and his press conference. Good of the Heat to do that finally. Giannis was like traveling around going, he was in Greece.
Yeah, but
with Neon, and then he was at the World Cup.
Right.
And he got in there. I wonder if he hooked up with Malik Beasley.
Yeah, good question. I wonder what that relationship's like. I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I mean, he did call him the other on that Neon thing. That was kind of funny. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I guess when you can go to a new job, if you switch jobs, you can tell your new employer, hey, I already have these trips planned. So my onboarding can't start, or you have to honor my vacation days. So maybe he's able to do that. NicoleLaw.com talking text line, Drew. Jeffrey from Milwaukee wanted to mea culpa. Good morning, fellas. Just wanted to apologize to Armen for going a little hard on him for his golfing take yesterday. It probably stems from not being a golfer, so I get it. Let's start another win streak for the Brewers tonight. Jeffrey, it's okay, man. It's not that serious.
I was attacking Armen for that take too.
It's okay, buddy. I appreciate it. I hope it didn't bother you last night.
Basically said, what's the big deal about playing big courses? It's just grass and trees.
I still believe it, but okay. We deify grass, trees, and water.
There are certain venues that are special. What's the difference? What's the difference between, Cudahy Stadium where the Packers play and Lambeau Field where the Packers play? It's 100 yards of grass. Big deal.
Yeah, that's equivalent for sure. Not okay.
Well, it's just like you with the golf courses.
I know.
You're undercutting your own argument.
One's not a venue. One's just nature. Now, I guess it is a venue. You have to cut it.
It's a venue. There's holes designed. It's a venue. The golf courses, there's thought that goes into the design of golf courses and trees that make it majestic and make it special. And each one is unique. There's nothing the same about two golf courses.
Okay, I get it. When I got literally 100% disagreement on it, I get it. I still kind of.
It was one of the worst takes of all time.
Well, I guess
it was up there.
I guess I'll have to hold it.
Yeah.
But Jeffrey, don't feel bad. I mean, I don't want you to feel bad. I appreciate your mea culpa. You can come at me for the take. I don't care. Yeah, that's fine. Jason, the electrician, Drew. Good morning, fellas. Talking point: Brewers versus Miami. All right, what's the talking point? Giannis is an owner of the Brewers and now a player on the Heat. Might be a lost promo opportunity. I think the last thing Giannis is thinking about right now is baseball.
Is the Brewers and the Marlins today?
But I mean, I'm sure he's happy with the investment. I mean, I'm sure it's gonna.
I mean, maybe he'll invest in the Marlins, or will people be mad if he wears a Marlins jersey to a Marlins game?
He's going to throw out a first pitch at some point, right?
You would think.
So why would anybody be mad about that? Because they're going to have him as a guest.
Won't. I don't know.
But I guess if you have I think people overthink the owner thing. It's just an investment. I think like his hundreds of other investments he has.
Heat games are the sexy thing to attend in Miami, not Marlins games.
Right. Nobody would be there.
Yeah. So
I could see him go to a Dolphins game maybe. I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah, stand on the sidelines.
I guess he'll do all of it. I would assume he wants to be part of the new
community. We'll see. Now, we talked about Giannis's quotes at his presser, and one of the things he said, quote, after all this took place, I feel like they're in a good place, referring to the Bucks. I feel like they're in a good place. I'm in a good place. I have so much respect for them. I hope they have respect for me and for the things I've done in that city.
See, he's still thinking about it.
But getting a phone call from Mr. Pat Riley, Mr. Jim, Mr. Pat, Jim Paschke, Pat Riley. Mr. Pat, he gave me a lot of closure. I was like, okay, now it's a new beginning.
Okay, I think he's still trying to convince himself of that. But
Giannis also said, he revealed what he said to Pat Riley about what lies ahead. He said, quote, I was being a little bit vulnerable with him. I was like, I know you guys think I'm this big, tough beast, but at the end of the day, I'm human. I have my emotions. And I was like, I'm scared. I'm kind of scared. This is different. But we had the conversation. I told him I'm excited. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to do whatever I can for the team to respect me and for your guys' culture and history. And hopefully I can leave a mark here.
And I appreciate him being so vulnerable about it. And he's told Jim Paschke, some people are in my position are afraid for that. He's not afraid. So I appreciate him talking about it because I told you that interview was important for our closure. But the reality is, I think the only place he's going to find comfort is once he starts playing basketball. Yeah. I think he knows that, and that's why he keeps referring to it. And that's totally understandable. Because I think he knows, okay, you know what? There's an insecurity about going to a new place and not knowing if people are how they're going to feel about you, if they're going to get criticized. But he said, I think he knows deep down, if I give him the same effort and the same intensity that I gave in Milwaukee, that's how I'll make people respect me.
That's right.
Here on the basketball court, not in the school hallways, you know.
And Giannis, there were many press conferences in Milwaukee that he won. Famously, the one about failure, like the one dad jokes, you know, it's just like
a lot
his
of
honesty. Yeah. He said yesterday, quote, "I just want to be coached hard. I'd rather you tell me an ugly truth than a beautiful lie. I feel like the moment I'm coached hard, everyone else is going to follow. I need the truth. I need the right feedback so I can be able to apply that to my life in the game of basketball. I'm excited to be coached by Eric Spoelstra."
Was there subtext there? Wasn't coached that way by Doc. Maybe. Wasn't getting the truth from the Bucks organization at the end.
Then, again, regarding Spoelstra, he said, "I've had conversations with people that I trust about him and his approach to the game, and they've told me he's a workaholic. He doesn't leave the gym. He really loves this. He's dedicated to his craft. He's really good at X's and O's. I'm excited to be coached by him. I'm excited to be here. And I know he's going to get the best out of me, but I need him to push me and to tell me the truth." Now, one of the people he consulted, was it PJ Tucker?
Maybe. Good question. Yeah.
Maybe.
I think that's probably proven. I think we can respect Spo in that way.
Yeah.
He's won the title, so.
I think Spoelstra's a great coach. A lot of people say, "Oh, he's a great coach only when he has superstar players." All right, well, then Phil Jackson wasn't a great coach.
That's true of everybody to win championships. Yeah. Did Mike Brown's coaching ability change overnight?
Yeah.
No, his players got it done.
Players got better.
But I believe also Spo will do the things he wants. I mean, Giannis is a coach's dream most of the time because of the way he wants to work. At least it seems that way. So.
Mm-hmm. All right. We're off and running. Shooting shirts are off. Dolph's going to join us at halftime coming up at 7:25. Got an interesting story about the confluence of baseball and technology. It's not pitching labs. We're going to talk about that as we move forward. You are in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. Professional baseball players get very little time off during the season, maybe 3 days a month or so the All-Star break is cherished, but now it's over. For the Brewers, they open up the second half of the season at home against the Miami Marlins tonight. Game 1 of the 3-game series gets underway this evening at 6:40. Logan Henderson will pitch against Sandy Alcantara. Looking at the standings as we start the second half, Milwaukee has a 5-game lead over Chicago. St. Louis is 8.5 back. Pittsburgh 9.5 games out. And Major League Baseball released their full schedule for 2027 on Thursday afternoon. Some highlights from Milwaukee. They'll open up at home against the Los Angeles Angels on March 25th. Their American League road trips, if you wanted to see them where you don't get to every year, Toronto, New York, Tampa Bay, Cleveland, and they'll end their season at Texas on September 26th. And the NBA has ruled that neither Bam Adebayo nor Tyler Hero will receive any discipline after their scuffle last week in Las Vegas. Hour 2 of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, Biller for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red, right, 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here and to try to run this play in the alley.
We got exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the good boy got to do. Let's go out and kick some tape. All right? Hey, yo. 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. You got to sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide, left, fake, 396 bag, B hand, C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
and Armen
This is
Sarian.
it. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Friday edition of the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, iHeartRadio app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and YouTube. It's Drew Wilson and Armen Sarian today. Billy Schmidt is out. I'll be out Monday, and it'll be Billy and Armen. It's vacation season. That's all you can say. Even though it's also smoke season, steamingly hot season.
We're not even getting any barbecue out of this. That's the worst part.
Exactly.
If I smell all the smoke, I expect to be at like some sort of barbecue fest or something in the summer. You know what I mean?
The
I haven't
air
even eaten
tastes
any
like
meat.
a campfire.
Yeah, not a good one either.
No.
You know,
Not
like
good.
it's like it's not only that it's smoky and terrible, it's like it smells bad too, like a tire burn or something. Like I don't know how else to describe it. Pretty bad, you know.
All right, so technology is all part of our lives. We had a little episode at Stately Olson Manor last night. My wife discovered that one of either our cable provider or something that we're going to get, there's some kind of rider where we're entitled to a free Peacock subscription.
Oh, that's found money right there.
That's found money.
That's
and my
exciting.
wife's all about it. So you got to cancel the Peacock subscription. And then you know how hard that is? Because it turned out like I went to
Not
Peacock,
easy.
went to
Not
the
easy.
app. Like apparently I had Peacock. It was billed every month, $10 a month.
I had the same thing. I was billing twice.
And it was through Roku.
Yes,
that I got it.
That same thing happened to me.
And then
yes.
it's like, okay, so you shut it down on the Peacock app. And so you're still going to have to go through Roku or you're going to be auto billed.
Right.
Like, why is that? I want to cancel this.
It's so hard. I mean,
and then
these
you cancel
places-
it there. And then she added it. And I just know it's going to be screwed up because this has happened before. Stuff like this. Hey, you think you're getting it for free and then you're not getting it. And I'm going to be at a Packer game and it's going to be on Peacock or something. And I'm going to want it on my laptop and I'm going to end up paying the $10 and reigniting the subscription.
And then it's going to keep
because
refreshing.
and you're
going
to keep getting double billed and like it's just such a pain in the ass.
It's such a pain in the ass. It's awful. And these, let's be honest, these streaming companies, they're like, they're sort of like, you know, like loan sharks gangs in the corner. Like all it is they're just doing it in plain
the
sight.
juice going.
That's all they're trying to do.
Let's
is
make it
manipulate.
impossible to cancel. Let's make you have to navigate and like make it like you need the Hubble
Right.
telescope to find the button to cancel your subscription to anything these days.
All to intentionally and purposely manipulate hardworking Americans that are living
Into just
paycheck to
giving up.
paycheck, into giving up
Yep.
and giving them their money to line the pockets of
It's-
corporate fat cats, all because we can't miss the Creighton DePaul game
That's right.
in the
And it's
winter.
horrible.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Horrible.
It
So,
sucks.
and I just know it's going to be screwed up. We had a similar thing with our cable, you change the email associated with the account, or you change something and you change the username because you can't find a password. And it's just, everything is such a pain in the ass. Why can't stuff be easy? Everything's a pain in the ass. Well, technology doesn't always make life better, but you can try. There are people that are using it, to their best. I know people who have their whole lives in the cloud and their scheduler, and they can use Alexa or Siri to make a haircut appointment.
Yeah.
And
That's cool. I mean,
I'm
if
not
people
that
do
advanced,
it, I'm not
right?
that good. I'm not that organized.
Well,
I still use a paper calendar at home. Also, that's great as long as you don't get hacked or your password isn't found in a data breach. I know a little bit about that.
yeah, you do know a little bit about that.
So it is what it is. And you have to remember
Well,
your password, 2-factor, download an app.
Here's where we're going with this, with technology being both a boon and a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
and you got to watch it. We began last night with the Phillies and Mets playing at Citizens Bank. No, where were they playing? Was it?
No,
New
it
York?
was Philly.
Philly. Yeah.
It was
Coming
Philly.
out of the All-Star game, they played at home. Okay.
That was kind of surprising.
We're in a new era because MLB has cracked down and revised. It used to be back in olden times,
The olden days.
that there was always a pack of Marlboro Reds and a book of matches on the back of the dugout bench. Like Johnny Adam, when he was an assistant trainer in the early 80s, it was his job to make sure that there was a pack of, because, Ted Simmons would score from second on a base hit and
Yeah,
he'd need a heater.
Rip a sig.
Rip a sig.
Yeah.
None of those
And
have
Jim
been
Lewis
replaced
was
by
the last guy to keep it going.
Those
Jim
have been
Lewis.
replaced by iPads. Guys use iPads just like you see them after an at bat. They get to the dugout and they go to the iPad, or pitchers
watch
are looking
video.
at the iPad. They're watching video and stuff.
Great
right?
chart, all that stuff.
That's a new wrinkle. And as is often the case, give someone an inch and they take a mile. MLB, they didn't announce this, but The Athletic found a memo. MLB has cracked down on iPad usage in the dugout
Oh, interesting.
because teams were pushing the boundaries of guidelines governing the use of technologies, in many cases installing custom apps that expanded the use of the iPads beyond their originally intended purpose to include recommendations regarding substitutions, pitch calling, and other in-game decisions traditionally made by players and coaches.
Well, it's interesting because when technology outpaces the legislation, we don't know what to do sometimes. We have this problem in our streets with e-bikes, for instance. But my point is, like, when the Astros were cheating, the idea was you can steal signs, but the old school way.
Yeah, and the
Right?
Yankees were using an Apple Watch at one point.
Right, they're using Apple Watch. So it's like, well, when should technology be allowed and not
Right,
allowed?
well, the league issued a memo on June 11th and gave teams more than a month to adjust. The ban took effect last night and in the second half. How rare is it for them to change the rules of something in the middle of the season?
That's pretty rare. I'd
Pretty
say.
rare.
Yes, good point, Drew. That's a great point.
One high-ranking official of an MLB team's research and development department said it caused quite the stir. But even the more data-friendly front offices say the trend raised eyebrows within the industry because of how many decisions made by managers and coaches could be aided by or potentially replaced by AI.
And that was where my first thought went. Where we just have AI, or like how many guys literally would think about these days going to ChatGPT and say, what is so-and-so likely to throw me or likely to throw this batter?
Exactly.
You know?
So, all right, they've been using iPads in the dugouts since 2016, although the usage was more tightly regulated in 2020 because of the sign stealing scandals. Yeah, they said in 2021, we're going to allow players to view live in-game video via the iPad in the dugout or the bullpen. The iPads were issued by MLB, fully controlled so that players can only use the app we put on the device. They can't access the internet for browsing or social media or other functions. The iPads are completely locked down and monitored with the software that we have on there. All right, in-game video has been and remains available, but only on a delay, usually once an inning is completed. Rules posted in every clubhouse also prohibit non-field personnel from coming into the dugout during the game in an effort to limit inputting live information into the iPads. But players and teams, they pushed for loosening of some restrictions. Coaches and players wanted the ability to customize the tablets, and the league allowed these liberties. Entering the season, the league issued iPads provided access to data through 3 tabs. All right. They have
This is
3 tabs
interesting.
open.
This is
The
interesting.
first was the MLB provided StatCast data and multiple video angles. So you can tell the spin rate, or you can tell stuff like,
So you can watch video.
how fast was the guy running?
Instead of running back to the clubhouse to watch
That's
it, right?
Yep. The second tab contained all data related to the automatic ball strike system. ABS, like looking at pitches and stuff. The third tab, known across the league as the custom tab, housed each team's specialized data akin to information found in an old school paper-filled binder. Examples include matchup info, defensive positioning, player tendencies,
spray charts, things
and
like
teams
that.
argued that those were necessities.
Whereas, like, Craig, and he might still do this in Chicago. Craig is famous for having that big binder in the
That's right.
dugout,
Yep.
right? And
Yep.
flip through it. Yeah.
Going forward, teams can still upload static information, which is data that would be available before the first pitch, though clubs were told that anything uploaded would ultimately remain subject to review by MLB. Pitch calling from the dugout may be at the center of this battle, and it's one of the usages that the league is targeting with this crackdown. There are at least, I think it started with the Marlins, who are in town tonight. They call every pitch from the dugout, basically. They signal the catcher.
They're
and tell
all
the
in.
catcher
Yeah,
what to
they're
call.
all in on that, on doing it that way.
Yeah. So some teams were inputting information from the ongoing game to improve the generative AI model's ability to anticipate the next pitch that would be thrown or to recommend what they should throw.
And that's my first thought: is AI would
That's
predict the pitch,
what they were doing.
or they were using AI to call their pitch in a way.
Yeah.
And then I could see that they like the culture war that develops because of this in baseball, Drew, because you witnessed all of it, covering it all those years.
That's
Like
right.
there was a time decades ago where none of this was even a thing, right? I mean, it was managers in the dugout going on their, not opinions only, but hunches. They might review things before the game, players before the game, and they would make their guesses and they'd make their moves and go. And now all this is being done. And there's probably a lot of old school baseball guys that are like, this stuff is so stupid. That's dominating our game. We're letting computers do it now.
Yep. I had people with the Orioles tell me that there were games when Cal Ripken was calling pitches from shortstop, signaling the catcher and telling him what to throw. That's power, man.
That is
power.
and that's trust from the organization. But the funny thing about it for me is like everyone still uses the tools at their disposal if they're trying to get an edge and win. And I think that's what teams are doing now with technology. And a lot of people that push back on it don't like it because they don't feel they miss the human side of the game, which I get, but it's still human because everyone's using it. Like, does that make any sense? I don't know if that, you know what I'm trying to say? I don't know how else to describe it. Like,
to a point, yeah.
I mean, Earl Weaver advanced the game a lot too in the 70s and 80s with new strategies and tendencies and analytics, but they weren't looked that way upon the time because it was just Earl doing it. Even though he was looking at different strategies that were not consistent with the status quo in baseball. So I don't know. I understand the rules for it, but it seems like it's what everyone wants in terms of technology. Like all the teams were asking for the same thing. Is it even, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. This is a tough thing to manage. This new world of technology and baseball, and it's been that since since the trash can scandal. I think it's been that way since.
I think you're right.
Because we don't know how to manage what was acceptable and what isn't. I mean, in the 82 Brewers doc, just a bit outside when they would talk about Robin and Paul and stealing signs and knowing when the pitch was going to come and whistling, that was like, that's strategy and gamesmanship.
Yeah, doing it on the field, not using technology.
Using technology. It's
like having someone in the bullpen with binoculars stealing the catcher's sign and then putting moving a towel to, like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
But having the runner do it at second base, peering in and putting his hand on his knee to tell the pitcher where the location is, or tell the batter where the location is, or what if he had the pitches.
I think it's funny because so many people will push against technology and they'll lament the loss of old school baseball and old school things. And they don't like analytics and data. It's such an easy catch-all, like, low-hanging fruit narrative for people to complain about, but every team does it. So doesn't that tell you that every team wants to use this edge and it means something because they want to win? Like, so everybody wants an edge to win. So everybody's using every piece of data and technology and, a attribute at their disposal to try and help them win. So it must matter to all these organizations.
Oh, yeah.
Like, so obviously it works.
Well, yeah.
It helps.
For everybody who was got their undies in a bundle about the Astros cheating scandal, which was bad, you'd be surprised that it's like, oh, they cheated the game, those bastards. a lot of the reaction in front office is like, why aren't we better at this?
That's it.
Why aren't we doing this?
If you're not cheating,
if they're
you're not
doing
trying.
it exactly. Like,
Right.
what are we doing to get an edge?
Because in the end, people want to win.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is. So it's like we should be pushing the boundaries as much as possible.
But it is funny to watch a guy come out of a game and then go right to the iPad, and it looks like your toddler at dinner. Like, keep him quiet and give him the iPad, and they just sit there and scroll through it.
That is funny. But
And then it's funny because
that's how the game's changed.
And then there's that great meme of Rodgers with the Surface tablet when he threw it in disgust when he saw something that he missed or a receiver that he missed.
And that's been part of football for a while, taking pictures. They used to print them out. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. And then they faxed them down. Remember when they faxed them down?
So that was like a tradition to look at that. So nobody had a problem with that. So the culture is interesting in each sport and what we accept and what we don't. I'm just waiting for this to infect youth sports, the youth baseball, travel baseball. When guys are going to start setting up video and looking at iPads
they
for
already
kids.
have videos.
I mean, it's crazy. And then every parent's going to have to pay for an iPad. And then the conversation is going to be about why we spend so much now on youth sports. It's just never ending. And it's all because everyone else has it and everyone else does it. And if we think everyone else does it, we have to have it too, or else we're falling behind. Like every parent to a T will tell you they don't think their kid should get a cell phone until they're older. Oh, but you know what? What am I supposed to do? Every other 12-year-old had it, so we had to.
Yeah.
But they all individually, if you ask them, will say, well, it's too early, but everyone else did. Like, so it's just so funny how that works.
Well,
but I don't know.
Yeah, it sealed it for in my own case, it sealed it for us when my daughter and another girl were left at soccer practice, and there was a cross up of communications.
Yep.
And they were both sitting at a park because we thought the other parents were picking up and the other parents thought we were picking up.
That's the fear, right?
And then it's like, oh God. But the coach stayed and the kids didn't have phones to call us. So my kid got a phone shortly after that.
Yeah, that's how that goes too.
Just to be able
but technology is going to be part of it. And how many small market teams, Drew, are looking at what the Brewers have done and trying to figure out our secrets? Like there's no question about it. We're the envy of so many teams in the league because it's like, what is really going on in this pitching lab? Like so many teams are trying to figure out the Brewers' secrets, and they're gonna and whatever it is, they would want to copy it. If it's technology, if it's not, because everyone's like, we have to try and do what the Brewers are doing and find a way to win and turn out all these really good players and fix players and get the best out of players. So yeah, it's funny how that works. It's funny how the game evolves and in some ways the conversation devolves.
Devolves, yeah. It's pretty wild. All right, 877-794-1973. We're going to talk to Hunter Baumgardt in a little more than an hour. Dolph's going to be in a bit. When we talk to Hunter, obviously we got to talk to him about the Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin injury report because the Brewers just got Lance McCullers, who's been plagued by injuries recently and in his past. And obviously the injuries and worries about Harrison and Miz, even with the fatigue. Hopefully Miz is back because it's weird that Miz isn't pitching the first game out of the chute, which he thought he would be.
He didn't seem too concerned when I heard him interviewed and stuff.
No, at the All-Star game, he did not seem overly concerned. But it's always health is like one of the Brewers' biggest things. That and what moves they're going to make. But health is a big cloud right now. And I say that when we're inundated with smoke.
I wonder if we're in a situation where they might just want to be managing him to make sure he's ready for the playoffs and play it safe. Like that's another thing you think about, right?
That's right. But Orthopedic Associates Wisconsin is your leader in orthopedic care. If you have a nagging issue like I did with my hip that needed to be replaced, and they did a wonderful job, your knees, back, neck, shoulders, arms, elbows, whatever's hurting you, or if you have a sports injury that has cropped up with your kid playing summer ball, travel ball, AAU ball, whatever it may be, go get the best care you can get. OrthoWisconsin.com. They got the walk-in clinics. They got the surgical facilities. They got it all, and it's first-class, world-class care right here in our backyard. Check out OrthoWisconsin.com for more information. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference, and they are the best. All right. Dolph is coming in, and we're going to talk to him about this whole technology thing. And Armen, I know that people they can relate to us with this streaming stuff. Like, we should be getting this for free. Okay, we'll go cancel this account and we'll use the free one. Has that ever happened without hiccups? Because then you got to go put in new passwords in your app.
Well, that part's frustrating.
You got the Roku TV and you're using apps, and then it's your phone and your laptop. And everything's a pain in the ass.
And it is. And to be honest with you, if we are being honest, the source of all this is we want to have what we want to have. Like, as a society now, we can't just tolerate saying, I'm just not going to watch it. Like, if we
Can't.
want to watch it, we want it. I mean, that's what it comes down to that we don't like to talk about is like, we can't really stand to not be able to consume the product we want to consume. So we'll do it. We'll complain about it, but we're not going to, most of the time, people just aren't going to accept no for an answer if it's a show they want to watch or a game they want to watch.
When it comes to marquee events, like if it's the Masters, and say the Masters was off CBS and that wasn't an option anymore. If I could go to an app and pay $1.99 to watch the Masters on a rainy Sunday here, I would.
People would pay for
but
what
then
they
the
want
greedy
to see.
bastards will nudge it up to $4.99 and on its way to $9.99
because they know you want
I
it.
still can't believe that sports hasn't reached that portal where there's a little app where you can pay $1.99 to watch this game, or if you want to join it in the 6th inning, you're going to pay 99 cents and just like do it that way.
But because it's companies, they want subscriptions. They don't want that.
Of course they do. They don't want that because then if the team's a loser, then people aren't going to be clicking on it, and you don't get as many views. You want the upfront money.
That's why you have to buy tickets at a church fair, not paying cash. You have to buy the tickets. So they want your money,
and how
then
many of those go unused? Right.
That's the point. That's all free money for them.
Exactly.
I'm not upset about it, but that's the reality of
it's a
business
reality
and life.
Totally a reality of it. Yep. Absolutely. All right, Dolphins coming in next for halftime. Hunter joins us in an hour for some hardcore Brewers discussion as they get ready to fire up the post All-Star game portion of their schedule. And lo and behold, they dropped the 2027 schedule already. Make your plans now. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. It's halftime of the Huddle, Friday edition. Fridays hit different. Drew and Armen bringing it to you. Billy's off today. We welcome Scott Dolphin, our halftime correspondent. Armen bumping back with a little earth, wind, and fire.
He's doing that for a reason, Drew. I heard a noise come out of Armen in the hallway just now that I didn't think was physically possible. I'm in the kitchen getting coffee, and I hear somebody singing this in this beautiful high, almost falsetto voice.
That's odd for me.
And he walks around the corner. I'm like, that could not have been you. And then he carried the concert into the bathroom because Shannon just walked by and said, who's in the men's room with their speaker
because
up loud?
It was
actually his voice.
I was watching some reel, and this was the song on the reel. And then it's in my head, and I was just like, yeah. And then he couldn't believe it.
I'm like, no way, dude.
Oh, my God.
It was a little loud. I apologize.
No.
It's 6 in the morning, and I'm 6:30, and I'm blasting Earth, Wind, and Fire.
I was amazed you were hitting high notes.
Unbelievable.
Well, it's a little fitting, right?
Good.
Earth, Wind, and Fire. We're getting all of it right now outside.
We sure are.
So, hey. all
How are you hitting those high notes when I still have like the smoke effect in the post-nasal area and it's still uncomfortable?
You can smell smoke in our building. And I think that's happening in a lot of buildings around Milwaukee. We had our worst air quality. Now, I don't know a lot about the numbers, but we were over 600 yesterday, which shattered the all-time record of 300 set back in 1987.
Yeah, 300 is hazardous. 600 has got to be like, oh my God.
Under 100 is considered healthy air.
Apparently, we're at 339 right now. I don't know.
Okay, so it's gone down quite a bit.
It's gone down.
You said it cleared a little bit last night when you were golfing.
Yeah, so we weren't going to golf, and then it got better in the afternoon, and by 6:30, 7 o'clock last night, there was a breeze, and it literally couldn't see the smoke in the air, but by the time I looked out at 9 o'clock, it was back. The breeze had died down, and it was back.
So we were speculating about whether the Brewers would open or close the roof tonight at American Family Field. Like, what's the better setup? I don't know.
Well, I would think close would be better, but it's supposed to be 93 today. So can you imagine what an insufferable sweat box that will be if the roof is closed tonight? This smoke is the advisory is supposed to end at noon again today because they said by 2-3 o'clock this afternoon, it's going to be down quite a bit from where unhealthy levels are. So if that's the case, it'll be open, but I can't imagine them closing the roof.
By first pitch, it's supposed to be about 88 tonight. So it's 90 during the day, 88, but that's going to be, you close the roof there, it's sweltering.
You're probably going to see 40,000 there tonight, first game back. They haven't been home since the 2nd of July, something
that is correct.
Like
It's been a couple weeks.
So I would imagine a big crowd. I don't know if you can close the roof.
Yeah, I don't. But Armen made a good point though. Like when they let the fireworks off and there's no air moving and it kind of lingers like a haze. You want if you close the roof, is there going to be a haze over the field and make it
probably, or
will there be a haze no matter what they do?
It has. I'm sure it's been. You go home that way. Has it been open?
I haven't even. I wouldn't notice. I don't even go home that way because I have to go around because the traffic.
Oh, the traffic is nuts there with construction.
I think what's tough for MLB, if you talk about like canceling and not, we talked about how jam-packed their schedule is. What's ominous about this thing is there's no indication that it's going to be over necessarily. Like you think to yourself, and when this happened in the past, it's like, it lasted a day. And I'm like, I don't know, unless the wind shifts and the rain and with the fires being so far south, it's like, how long are we going to be in for this? Like, when's our relief coming?
Could linger through the weekend and maybe even to early next week.
I mean, I heard, it could be next week. I don't know. I think nobody knows is the part of the problem.
It's fascinating to me that this can happen hundreds, if not thousands of miles away, and it can still come down to the surface where you can physically see it moving around.
Isn't that hard to believe?
Yeah. Now, usually we're talking about Canadian wildfires, and some of this is that, but there's Minnesota wildfires that are affecting us too, which is a lot closer. But, usually when somebody's smoking a cigarette, they blow it in the air and it just disappears. That just shows you how heavy this stuff is.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. And by the way, that's a question that crossed my mind. I thought about a lot of things yesterday with the smoke. Do smokers, are they kind of like more immune to this because they're dragging smoke into their lungs nonstop anyway?
This smells like, this is not cigarette smoke or grill smoke or everyone's saying campfire. To me, at least, it smells like burning wires and tires and nasty.
Oh, God.
Just nasty
You're
stuff.
Right. You're right. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, come on. I mean, what? I guess we just take it for granted, clean air now. And it's like, now it's frustrating because we have to wait for this. But you do imagine, like, okay, it'll be gone in a day. And it's like, well, I don't know when our AQI is going to get better. All of a sudden, I'm watching AQI like it's gas prices.
Yeah, they're talking about it like it's going to linger into next week.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
Frustrating. Yeah. Well, makes me want to go.
It makes you have to feel like you have to eventually accept this. Like if you want to go outside the next week, you have to accept being in breathing unhealthy air.
But it is supposed to, lighten up this afternoon. Me and the fellas are planning on being out tailgating before the Brewer game tonight.
Like it'll get better. So I think it's going to get down to like less oppressive levels where we maybe not noticed it earlier. I don't know, but
it's difficult to drink a cold beer through an N95 mask. Regular mask you can probably suck
you can probably do it
through, but in the N95, that's going to be tough.
Still got N95s laying around?
I think we still have a box somewhere at home. I remember I was on jury duty during COVID. Wow. And they say you got to wear a mask. So I wore my mask in and they're like, nope, you got in the courtroom, you have to have the N95 mask on. I hated that thing because they're very constrictive. I mean, it's not only is it a little more tougher to breathe through, but my ears are about ready to fall off because they're so tight. Yeah. That was the biggest issue with the N95.
Oh yeah, that hurts, man. That hurts.
I wanted to wear my iHeart one again. They wouldn't let me.
Oh, were those like the foamy, spongy kind of ones? Or were they more cloth?
I think they were cloth.
More cloth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it seemed like we had this kind of foamier one.
I do remember those.
Yeah. Yeah. Bizarre. That's so funny that a lot of people that are so anti-mask, like, I'll never put a diaper on my face again. Well, then go outside and take your chances in this weather.
And right now, especially with these counts way up where they are right now, you are taking.
I wouldn't want to run like a half marathon in this weather.
I saw runners out yesterday. I'm like, are you guys out of your mind?
A couple of them, and it's like, oof, they don't have access to a treadmill.
Use a treadmill. I mean,
That's a good point.
I understand not wanting to miss your workout and it's dedication and it's about that. Okay. Use a treadmill, run indoors somewhere. I mean, it's got to be better than this. And I'm not saying that like just out of, a lot of people want to make it about toughness and all that. I don't care. Like you're just not going to get the same positive effects. It's just illogical.
Our pal Mark Baden put it best. It's like, if you're healthy and you're not like asthmatic or compromised or something like that, you can walk to your car and you can walk into the store.
Sure, you can live your life
probably
that way.
Not a good day to have a beach cookout or like to be like run a half marathon.
I feel for the people out working in this. There's nonstop construction projects going on. I went past a gas station yesterday that was they were redoing the concrete, and there was a bunch of dudes out there and working hard, not only in the heat but in the heavy smoke.
They went from the 100 degrees to like the smoke. We always hear from our mailmen listeners. For some reason, we have a lot of listeners who work for the Postal Service. Mail carriers represent a big chunk of our listeners. Mail carriers, guys who spend days in work trucks, route salesmen,
rain, sleet, snow, and smoke.
And smoke. Yeah. But it's just an annoyance. We were bitching before about my wife realizing that we're supposed to get Peacock for free, and I had to cancel my subscription, and then it's like start a new one with new passwords attached to this, and then it's such a pain. Everything's such a pain. It's almost the point where I would rather pay the $10 a month and not mess with it than start over again and have to input new passwords, and I know something's going to go sideways. And it's like, she's like, do you actually need Peacock? Yeah, there's a lot of sports on there, and if there's a game that I need to watch on my laptop while doing Packers OT or something, yes, And I know what'll happen is if it's not working, I will pay again and fire up the $10 a month and just go back to paying it again.
We don't use it often. I use it for Big Ten sports, Badgers, and when I'm watching Iowa. Now you have NFL games on there.
MLB games.
But I used it for the last month or so until last week because DirecTV blacked out TMJ4 locally in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So any programming on NBC, I had to watch on the Peacock app.
Wow.
And the thing is, like, I told this to Drew, we want what we want. So for most people, you could just say, well, listen, if it's too annoying, it's too expensive, just don't watch it. But most people don't want to accept that. They want to watch. But for us, when it comes to sports, at least, there are certain things we have to be abreast of. We have to keep in touch with. We have to watch. We have to be aware of to do our job correctly, So there's a different angle, obviously. I'm not saying like, woe was us or anything, but it's just reality.
Can you imagine there was a time when, you either got your game or you didn't if it was out of town? It's like, well.
Read the paper if you missed it. Yep.
That was it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Unless you taped it.
We never when I was out west 1,000 years ago and I wanted to watch one of my favorite college teams, you had to pay for the game. It was like $16.95 just to be able to watch it.
Well, it used to be, right. It was pay-per-view, right? Like watching the big fight. Everyone got together to pool their money for pay-per-view. Now everything is pay-per-view.
It is.
Which is in a way makes sense. But to Drew's point last segment, it's not as easy as it could be, because if Drew said like I could watch for $1.99 one game, I would do it, right? And then that's the problem.
Yeah,
that's how they get you. It's like delivery. It's like death by 1,000 cuts. It's like DoorDash and all these different things, and service charges and credit card fees.
Now the Brewers did what? Brewers TV. It was like $50 for the second half of the season. That's a pretty damn good deal, because that's far less than $1 a game if you're a big Brewers fan.
And that's great. Great, you get a lot of content for that. Watching a great team. I don't mind that. Obviously, the Bucks are going to be free this year. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, everything's on free TV, right?
So we're still lucky in that regard for our main sports. But like, if you want to watch the Badgers, Marquette, all these other games and stuff, it's very hard to find, and it's very hard to make sure you get the subscription for, and obviously expensive.
I end up having to ask Siri who's televising the Marquette game tonight, because
it's so hard to find. And it's always, when you don't want it, it's always on CBS Sports Network.
It took me 20 minutes to find the Brewer game on Sunday. I'm like, where is this game?
Yeah.
Against Pittsburgh. And what was it, on Peacock?
Peacock.
It was.
There was an Apple game, an ESPN game, a Peacock game, and a Brewers TV game, all in the same.
It's all about money. And when it comes to college sports, Big Ten football, they have like a little draft, right? Each week, somebody gets to pick the marquee game. So if NBC has it, chances are it's going to be on Peacock, whether it's a big matchup between ranked teams or prime time, it's going to be on Peacock.
Right. You know how we love our anniversaries and stuff in this here little corner of the sports world. I don't know if it's like that in the country music world. Like, on this day 10 years ago, so-and-so released this or that.
Well, today's a big day in country music. Luke Bryan turned 50 today.
I cannot believe he's 50 years old.
He's got his ARP card. Yeah, it's that time.
Isn't that crazy? Remember when he was a young guy, like getting into it?
The number 50 is interesting because as Adam McCalvey pointed out, Monday marked 50 years from Hank Aaron's last home run, 755.
And
at County Stadium off Dick Drago of the Angels.
Is there still a home plate in one of the parking lots that commemorated that event? I think there was, right?
I take that back. It's July 20th. It'll be coming up on this coming Monday.
Okay.
July 20th was the last home run of at County Stadium.
Somewhere out near Hellfair Field, right? In that parking lot. Yeah, I think there's a home plate or something, or there's a marker for Hank Aaron's.
I think it's Hellfair.
It's at Hellfair.
I think it's at by one of the seats in Hellfair in the little bleachers.
I remember seeing it. I thought it was in the ground somewhere.
It is. Yeah, I think that. Okay. I think if you walk into Hellfair, where the bleachers are on the concourse, concourse, it's in one of those.
Okay.
So Hank Aaron's last home run was witnessed by a crowd on July 20th of 10,134.
Oh boy.
It's hard to believe that many people wouldn't want to go watch, because you're thinking of an all-time great, but attendance wasn't that good back then.
23 more games for the Brewers before a leg injury sidelined him for good. He never hit another homer. And now, you know the story about the ball from that, right?
No.
It went into that little kind of alley between the grandstand and the bleachers.
Yeah.
It was section 28 of the lower grand.
So who got it?
Part-time groundskeeper named Richard Arndt, a social worker who was born in Madison, lived most of his adult life to that point in Albuquerque, and spent one summer in Milwaukee. Gets a job on the grounds crew.
That boy, Dick.
He gets the ball, and he said he wanted to meet Aaron, but a clubhouse staffer said no. So he took the ball home.
Good. Take my ball and going home. I love that. Why would they say no?
And then the Brewers fired him, and on his final paycheck, they docked him $5 for confiscating club property for the ball.
My God.
Oh, that is nasty work, bud. Come on. Was that Bud? Come on. That's nasty work.
That's pretty nasty.
Good. Well,
work.
he still got the last laugh.
Yeah.
That ball was probably more important than that $5 and that part-time job.
And in his autobiography, I Had a Hammer, Aaron said he had numerous attempts to get the ball. He said, to me, that ball's just as important as the one from 715 that surpassed Babe Ruth, because it's the one that established the record. The record was 755, not 715. Now, Mr. Arndt, he kept the ball, took it to a public signing in 1994, and had Aaron sign it, unknowing that it was
brilliant.
I love it. He got the last laugh
multiple
times.
He sold it to a collector in 1999 with a quarter of the proceeds going to Aaron's charitable foundation. And
that was nice of him to do that.
The collector, Andrew Knuth, loaned the ball to the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, whereas it is on display in an exhibit titled Hank Aaron Chasing the Dream.
Well, you know what? And this is a good lesson, Maybe those guys be like, well, you should have agreed to meet him. Then again, it might not have been his decision. I don't want to put that on Hank. Hank's a great, obviously, player. I just like you would think he would would be like want the ball to meet him. Maybe he was mad at the clubby that said you can't meet him.
I always wonder about people who, they think they're doing the right thing by giving it back to the player for maybe some bats and free tickets.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can get life-changing money for these milestone home runs.
It is pretty
nowadays.
wild.
Yeah, but you have to identify the value. Like some of these balls are just so-and-so's prospect's first major league hit or home run. Then it's worth, I think, the bat and the jersey.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them aren't going to be great players, so that ball might not be worth
That's
much.
a great point.
But you're right.
Like Bonds hitting 70 or whatever.
Well, or famous, who was the guy that had the McGuire home run, the clubby or the grounds crew guy that ran it back to him, you know, like famously.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Like he should have just quit his
Traded for
job
some
and kept the
swag
money.
and stuff.
But then again, I mean, thought he was being the right, nice guy. And back then, everyone loved McGuire and he wanted to do the right thing and give him the ball. Like, I always appreciate that because I'm like, man, that's what Armen would have done when he was 15. Like, get Robin Giannis' ball back and, like, be like, this is right. Like, do the right thing.
Yes.
It's so funny to think about
wild.
that. Then you're right, though. You could have thought, like the Ohtani ball last year, right? That people were diving over each other for, and then then security take. Because you have to get those authenticated now right away. Darren Ravello always talks about that. Unless you have an authenticator right away, come put the sticker on, it won't be worth as much. And that's why there was controversy over the NBA. The final ball was supposed to go to the league, and that's why players wanted to keep it, and the league won't let them keep it. And there was an argument about that with Josh Hart, and it was really interesting.
I mean, just following Darren Ravel on Twitter.
He loves this
every day you see something going for tens of thousands of dollars. Then you went, oh, okay. Oh, the ticket stuff from Jordan's whatever. And you think, man, I used to have stuff like that all the time that I just tossed.
That's pretty wild. So I'm off on Monday, but Armen, you want to take a note of this? Yes. You and Billy?
Yes.
Monday will be the 50th anniversary of Henry Aaron's 755th and final home run.
There you go.
And the 5th anniversary of the Bucks title.
Oh, both.
How about that?
Doubled up
that?
on July 20th, one of the great dates in Milwaukee sports history. Significant, highly significant.
I was so disappointed I couldn't go to the parade in 2021 because I had to be at Caddy Day at Washington County Golf Course.
Look at me.
You and I did the show together that day.
I know we did. Dude.
That got me out of. I didn't have to go to that because we were broadcasting from the Deer District that day.
Yeah.
Remember when they woke me up?
I took the bullet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Were you Ty Webb that day? Were you dressed as Ty Webb?
No, I was Judge
Smales. Judge Smales.
But before that, I had to do the show with Armen. And Butch, I believe, jumped in for a
second.
second.
You had to do what? The morning show?
We did 9 to noon.
Okay.
Because everybody else was on the golf course or at the parade.
Yeah.
60-second really quick home run ball on September 9th, 98 was Tim Formeris, the grounds crew member, working at Busch Stadium and famously handed it back to McGuire for free in exchange for a red minivan, a watch, and a trip to Disney World instead of capitalizing on its $1 million plus value.
Huh? Altruistic
he got the minivan.
Would it still be worth $1 million after that story became tainted?
Well, that's the best question. That's a great question.
That's the question. Yeah, my buddy Jeff Perlman has a number of long posts about what a jackass McGuire was.
Really?
Perlman's video thing, Pressbox Chronicles, he just went off on him.
Yep.
I watched it. I was like, damn, Jeff.
Jackass,
okay.
Absolutely.
By the way, Drew was on his podcast. There you
That's
go.
true. I was on Pearl's podcast. Yeah, it was fun. Go check it out wherever you get your podcast. Dolph, thank you for joining us. Have a great weekend. Have a great time at the Brewers game tonight. Roof open, roof closed. You guys will have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I'm going to probably go without the N95 and take my chances.
Yeah,
hopefully the
good
smoke's
call.
gone.
Hopefully it'll clear up after noon. We'll take a quick break. Hunter Baumgardt joins us in less than an hour to talk about the Brewers Marlins here in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
makes the catch. One away, and let's take it now down to Steve Lyons. Steve?
All right, Joe, thank you very much. This is an unbelievable story. I'm standing down here with Tim Forneris. He caught the ball. He works for the club on the grounds crew along with his brother Tito, and his mother works as a concierge. Now, Tim, tell me about how he caught the ball.
It was unbelievable. Right when it hit off the bat, I knew it was going out. It went right over the sign. There was a bunch of grounds crew guys on the wall, but I was right on the edge, and I said, that ball was mine. So I jumped off. I ran as fast as I could. I snagged it, and then I didn't know what to do with it, so I kind of walked around.
Well, you know, we talk about the pressure that Mark McGwire has had hitting the home runs. A lot of pressure on you as to what you're going to do with the ball, and what did you decide?
Well, it's a definite decision. It will definitely go to Cooperstown, or, you know, Mr. McGwire, of course, and then he can decide what he wants to do with it. I just don't want to be taxed.
I just don't want to be taxed. Armen unearthing the video.
I can't believe I found that. I really
Evidence.
can't. It's amazing that it was there, but
oh boy,
how about that? It's somewhere on the internet. Say he's a public defender now.
That's wild.
I mean, that man's just doing service for everybody. How about that? You know, I just don't want to be taxed. Oh, that's great.
I mean, when it comes to those milestone balls, everybody has to make their own decision, right? It's like,
yeah, but see, the internet didn't exist then, and I don't think people were aware of the value. I mean, that's nice.
He was aware of the value. Come on.
I guess you're right.
Charlie Sheen was buying out whole sections of stadiums to get home run balls. Remember that?
Not back then.
Yeah.
People were just. I think it's just more well known. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe, but I just feels that way. Obviously, he knew there was value to it because I asked him what he was going to do with it, and he felt like doing the right thing. He's like Cooperstown or Mr. McGwire. I don't think. I just don't. You know,
it's not mine to keep. Yeah, it is funny though that the guy who got Hank Aaron's ball couldn't meet Hank, and he just kept it, and they fired him and charged him $5.
I love that story. I just can't
That's
believe
amazing.
He'd be so short-sighted you could have had the ball if you just decided. But the funny thing is, I guess he was working for the club, so it added an extra layer to it.
Yeah.
Like what his obligation was, I guess. Maybe that's why he thought that.
All right. Hey, Wildcat Mark said that guy that you're talking about ended up being on Letterman and was pretty good on Letterman.
No, he had a good run, and he got a minivan.
Good run. Got a minivan. Why not? Hey.
Yeah.
Why not? You know, when something like that happens, would you trade it like for season tickets for life? You know?
I think I would.
Right. I think so.
That's a pretty good thing. If you're really a true fan, if it's not life-changing money, I mean, it would be, but if you don't need the money, I guess, if you are not
everybody needs the money, Armen.
All right. You're right.
When it's money, everybody needs it.
I guess you're right about that. Yeah.
Right. All right. 877-794-1973. We are heading strong into the final hour of the huddle for this week. My final huddle for a week because I'm taking off next week. Billy will be back on Monday. Hunter Baumgardt joins us to talk Brewers. He will be in at 7:25 if you're a Brewers fan and excited for the second half and you missed his show last night, Milwaukee's Baseball Tonight. Tune in. We'll give Hunter to give us the highlights of that and look ahead. When will we see Lance McCullers? When will we see Miz? Hunter should have some answers for us in the next hour of the program. We're glad you're hanging out with us. It's the Friday edition of The Huddle on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
I'm Doug Russell. Baseball's All-Star break is over. The first-place Brewers home for their longest home stand of the season starting tonight. Milwaukee opens up a 3-game weekender against Miami. Tonight's Game 1 begins at 6:40. Logan Henderson will pitch against Sandy Alcantara. Entering play in the second half tonight, the Brewers lead the second-place Cubs by 5 games in the division. There was one game in Major League Baseball last night, the Mets turning away the Phillies 4-1. Minor League Baseball in the state and the Midwest League back tonight as well. The Timber Rattlers host Quad Cities. Beloit is at Cedar Rapids. And former Buck star Giannis Antetokounmpo, formally introduced in Miami on Thursday.
You always hear about the Miami Heat culture and that guys work hard, guys are very disciplined, guys are very driven, and guys are very selfless and give everything that they can to win games. With the Bucks, we try to kind of recreate that culture, that we come in here, we do our job, it doesn't matter who shines. All that matters is winning.
The final hour of the Huddle starts now. I'm Doug Russell on Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin.
Good morning, Wisconsin, and welcome to the Huddle.
I'm all for someone huddling if you have something to say.
It's time to wake up and talk about the teams you love with the guys you love.
It's just about getting the group together. I need you, you need me today. Let's keep touching each other. Let's make sure we feel each other. Let's make sure we smell each other's breath.
Watch us on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
You need 15 or 20 huddles to correlate with a number of cameras. Take the cameras off the field, and there'll be no huddles.
Now gather around because it's time to huddle up.
West left slot, 323 wide stick on one. Ready, be alert for blitz. If it looks like man coverage, I'll check. I'll go 200 get. You got to cut and crack. Now cut and crack. Red right 18 Bob on one. Ready, cut him and crack.
If you look at this play, what we're trying to get is a seal here and a seal here, and try to run this play in the alley.
We know exactly what we got to do. All right? That's all the board got to do. Let's go out and kick the tape. All right? Hey, 1, 2, 3.
Keep doing what you're doing. Sit our guys after and make the play.
Be right all the way outside. Wide left. Fake 396 bag. D hand. C puck. Is that long enough for you?
I want you to be proud of your profession. It's a great profession. Go out there and play this ball game like I know you can play it.
With Drew Olson,
Mythical, legendary figure.
Bill Schmid,
Oh, my God. This man's been out all night.
Armen Sarian.
Zip. Don't get scared now.
Sanchez, we ready?
Fox Sports Radio Wisconsin is on the air.
Locked and loaded, ready to dominate the 7 o'clock hour. Hello, 7 o'clock clubbers. People just arising now. Welcome to the Huddle.
Welcome to
Drew
the club.
Olson, Armen Sarian, broadcasting live, 920 Milwaukee, 1070 Madison, everywhere on the iHeart app, streaming live, Facebook, X, and the YouTubes for you early risers. 7 o'clock Friday. Let's get it. Brewers tonight playing the Marlins at American Family Field. We'll talk to Hunter Baumgardt at 7:25 about that and baseball in general.
Yeah,
Shout out to Dolph for just joining us and hanging out.
That was great. What's up? Thank you, Dolph. Dolph was one of the few that braved it last night, the smoke. He was golfing last night.
Yeah.
Paul and Kenosha chiming in on YouTube. We're talking about Hank Aaron anniversary, the home run. He said he was at the game when Hank hit his last homer. What great memories. I was sitting in the bleachers. All right, Paul and Kenosha.
Right. Friend of the show,
I'll
Dave
trust you.
Schultz, the basketball wizard, was also at that game.
Yeah.
I saw Hank hit a home run, but it wasn't that one.
Still, you
him
saw
hit a home
one.
run against Boston.
Pretty cool that you saw it, though.
I was very young. Yeah. In the building. I also got an autograph at one point from Hank when he was playing for the Brewers.
Awesome.
I don't have it anymore.
I had that the book you were talking about. I had a hammer, I had a hammer.
Yeah.
I got the book because he was signing at the airport when I was a kid.
Oh, cool.
But he was only signing the book. So my mom bought the book and got it signed. Actually, I wasn't there to meet him though. My mom came home and she said, "I thought you might want this." Hank Aaron was signing autographs at the airport and I bought the book. I'm like, "You got Hank Aaron's autograph?" And sure enough, it was there. So I still have that. It's a treasured copy. I didn't get to meet him though, so unfortunately I don't have the story. But I would imagine it's like everyone's gonna have a story like that. Think about Giannis today because Giannis went to Miami and got introduced. Like I think about all those thousands of people that were waiting outside that car delership to meet him. If you remember that, Drew,
oh yeah,
one of those years. What year was that? 6-7 years ago, and it was like, it was set up, announced, and he obviously became a big deal. And it was like streets, and he waited and was late and met thousands of people. Those are the memories. So, you can touch people, you can touch their lives with one small moment, and Hank did that for everybody. Yeah, we were talking about that, with Hank and meeting him and stuff like that. So,
who was the first autograph you ever got? The first athlete you ever encountered in the flesh?
Great question.
Who was it?
I think mine was Vin Baker. I think about this a lot, and I go back into the depths of my memory. And I was at the YMCA Bucks camp or like the summer camp, whatever it was, like a 2-day camp. And I played YMCA basketball when I was like 10 or 11, and they let a few kids, you get to go. So it was exciting. I remember my dad, Leon, was telling me about this. My dad was like, we're going to be there and you're going to be playing with Bucks players, because there was a Bucks coaches and players there. And in my head, I had these dreams that I was going to be shooting at the Bradley Center all alone with the Bucks team. And that's not reality. We went to the Cousins Center, but it was great. There was a lot of kids. And Vin Baker, Eric Murdoch were there as the players. And Mike Dunleavy and Frank Hamlin were the coaches. And we all went to different stations, and they taught us drills. I remember Frank Hamlin teaching us the bounce pass, thumbs out.
Oh, wow.
So it was cool. Vin Baker watched me shoot free throws. Like, that's what we did, right? A bunch of kids were in a line. On the way out, my dad had my Bucks mini ball, and Vin Baker was coming down this flight of stairs, coming out, and said, hey, Vinny, can you sign this for us? He said, sure. And he signed it. That was an exciting moment. And then Eric Murdoch came running out and got out of there quick. We asked him too, and he stiffed us. So thank you, Vinny, for signing the ball.
It.
No thanks to you, Eric Murdoch, for stiffing us. But that was my first memory, is Vin Baker signing the ball. And then I think it was after that, it was Cirillo and Turner Ward on picture day. Remember at County Stadium, they had picture day.
Oh, yeah.
And you could go on the field on the warning track. Every player was at a folding chair. You could take a picture. I don't think I got an autograph, but I got a picture, which was just as cool.
Yeah.
My mom had the camera. And there's somewhere in her picture album, Turner Ward making a goofy face, Cirillo, taking a picture
with his messy hair.
Yeah, I think he might have been in uniform with a hat on, but it was
the
awesome.
Icon.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And that was cool because it was our star back then, as you know, Drew.
Oh, yeah.
Jeff Cirillo. So
big time.
Awesome.
Big time.
My memory's there. Those are my good ones.
877-794-1973 to the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line. Time for a little Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jacobson Heating and Cooling. We mentioned them earlier because, we were talking about there's no air conditioning at American Family Field, and they can only heat it for a little bit, but they're talking about improving that. They need to call Donovan Jorgensen, employee owned for 40 years, donovanjorgensen.com. There's a lot more who's nots than who's hot. Like who's hot, I'm going to go with Lionel Messi in Argentina.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Because they've been, the stories and they've won some exciting games. Spain's just been suffocating people. And
they've only allowed one goal the whole freaking tournament.
But Messi's like the best player on the pitch at his age. And is this his last dance in the World Cup? Maybe, maybe not. He's like LeBron. We've compared him to LeBron because of his age, but he's just incredible to be the best player. So I got to go with Messi being hot. Now, will he be hot Sunday? We'll see. It's highly anticipated. You know who else is hot? Sports bar owners.
Oh, yes.
Nationwide. This has been a big summer for them. And you can say, World Cup soccer, who cares? These games are drawing people out, and especially in cities where, there's if the Scottish took over Boston, they weren't just there to attend the games. They were going to bars to watch the other games because these football fans internationally, they're into the World Cup and they want to watch it and consume the whole thing. And so the lines at sports bars, the sales, the restocking, it's been a huge summer for sports bars because of the World Cup.
Yeah.
Absolutely huge.
I also saw really quick about Messi. I saw he was hot about detractors of Argentina. Because there's a lot of, speaking of LeBron, there's a lot of people in the soccer community that think they're the chosen ones, that it's kind of rigged for them, rigged for Messi. They've had some questionable calls and things, and he said, no, it's because we've earned it. We're champions, nothing more, nothing less. So he kind of was hot about that as well.
Another interesting thing of who's hot, who's not. I'm going to say who's hot, who's not hot. Rory McIlroy struggling to make the cut at the Open Championship.
Not playing well, yeah.
No.
How much do you think people are watching the Open, Drew? The British
Not
Open?
as much. Well, now that the three lions are out.
Yeah, maybe more.
It would have been different. It's funny how everybody, virtually everybody, at least 2/3, if not 3/4 of the people who rooted for England are now all about Spain. They don't want Argentina.
They don't want Argentina. So Argentina seems to be that like lightning rod, about people cheering against
and
LeBron.
they just won the last one, and their history with England. So England, they're like, they beat them. So yeah.
Especially if you're a Ronaldo fan, because this takes away the shine from Ronaldo being GOAT and stuff like that.
No question. Who's not hot? Hate to say it. Christian Yelich, not hot. Last 21 games, Christian Yelich is batting .175.
Yeah, he was struggling into the break.
94 plate appearances, 80 official at-bats. Out of 80 at-bats, 26 punch-outs. That's a lot of strikeouts, man, for him.
Too many.
1 homer and 7 RBI in his last month.
plate discipline's always been a strength of his. So I'd be surprised if that continues because usually when he's not hitting, he's still, taking walks and things like that.
For the season, in 58 games started, he's got 59 hits, 13 doubles, a triple, 6 homers, 31 RBI, 243 batting average. He's not been hot.
No.
Brewers need him. But I hear a lot of people like, would you bench him? Like, no. You let him swing out of it because he's so important to the team, I think.
You have to ride it out.
Yeah, that's what I would think. All right, so that's Who's Hot, Who's Not, brought to us by Donovan Jorgensen Heating and Cooling. Check them out. And we told you months ago to get your air conditioner tuned up. Now it's time to start thinking about the furnace. If it was coughing and wheezing and you think it's on its last legs, get it taken care of now and have peace of mind going into the winter, because that first polar vortex that hits us, if your furnace craps out, you're going to be screwed. You got to anticipate these things. So our friends at Donovan Jorgensen can help you for sure.
And AC is important right now to get that airflow in your house.
No doubt.
And filtered out, obviously, and they're going to give you the best. So no question, they're important to have today and every day, obviously. Speaking of it, on YouTube, John Kurzawa, mask it up so you don't inhale the Canada smoke. And he said the first autograph he got was Nick Bockwinkel. I was working at the Denny's by the airport. A bunch of AWA wrestlers stopped in after the show at the arena. Pretty cool. I don't know what that is, but I'm pretty impressed.
Nick Bockwinkel was one of the legends of the AWA circuit back in the day. Yeah, he was like a bit of a heel.
Nice.
A champion.
They came into Denny's. Gotta love that.
Oh, yeah. Those guys.
Grand Slam.
Milwaukee was a hotbed for that circuit.
Paulie G, mine was Bernardo Harris, ex-Packer. There was a little Packer pickup basketball game or something. I was walking to the bathroom or something and took me out. I vaguely remember it was at Menasha High School. All right, Paulie. Well, that's kind of a random story, but I love it. That's what makes it great, right? The randomness of it.
The randomness totally does. 877-794-1973, NicoletLaw.com talk and text line.
Aaron Fondy, George Kuntz. First autograph. Tommy and Salas, Robin Yountz on my Brewers fan club Zuba hat. Oh, that's a great hat.
Oh,
that's one I would love to buy on a thrift store off the internet. The Brewers fan club Zuba hat. I was young when the ink is faded, but the memory never will. That's the important thing. Robin was signing at the Greenfield City Hall, the 3000 book, and there was such a long line, and then he eventually had to stop, and we waited all morning, and we were like 10 people away and didn't get the autograph.
Oh, man.
But I wasn't mad at him. Even back then, I wasn't mad at him. I said, we can't stay here forever. What's he supposed to do? Like, I knew Robin wasn't like doing it to disrespect. I had enough maturity at 10 years old to know he wasn't doing it to me personally. So I was cool with it. I got over it. I was like, one day, and as time goes on, you meet him again. So
yeah,
it was all right.
That's too funny. All right, keep them coming. We like these memories. 877-794-1973.
Ben says Paul Molitor saw him at Partyland where Beloit in Oklahoma cross. Oh, okay. Yeah, over there in the west side a little bit. He was returning a helium tank. And if I remember right, he was in a maroon Camaro. I was getting my papers for my paper routes that weekday afternoon. The randomness of the story is probably better than the actual player. He was on his paper route, and he saw him returning a helium tank from a party in a maroon Camaro. You got to love that.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, good stuff. Right.
Keep them coming.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's too funny. Yeah, the talk and text line and the comments on YouTube are they're popping right now. We appreciate it.
Good stuff.
So, all right, Giannis had his presser. So did Bobby. We kind of covered that. If you want to read the comments, did you see that Pat Riley did make a joke about not wanting to be punched by Bam?
Yeah, because he forgot to mention him or something when they talk about what they're building and stuff. I don't know. And he said, "I don't want to get punched."
I don't want to get punched.
Which
by the way, the NBA announced there will be no sanctions for the players.
No, they're spending all their time investigating the Bucks for the Gary Trent deal.
Yeah.
It's like, who cares? Leave us alone.
Yeah.
At this point. Yeah, there's probably shady. Who cares? I don't think it. Why would they care this much?
They circumvented. It's nowhere near what happened with Kawhi.
No chance. It's not
but
even
it was
close.
a handshake deal that looks a little shady on its surface. Hard to prove. I think the Bucks have some plausible deniability, but most people would say, yeah, that was a preconceived deal. Like the last two contracts, he took less, and then we took care of him on the back end.
And I get why you'd want to enforce a rule, because then there's this thought that unless the NBA enforces it, any way to circumvent the rules is accepted, and therefore every team should do it. And then you become, you set a precedent of teams being allowed to continue to push the envelope more and more. And people want integrity in their rules and their game. Listen, I understand all that. Trust me. As a Brewer fan, it frustrates us more than anything when we can see teams like the Dodgers defer money. But the reality is, I don't know. Yeah, like you said, it's hard to prove. How can you prove the Bucks don't think Gary Trent is worth $16 million a year? They think he is.
Yeah.
Well, maybe the league doesn't. Well, I mean, okay, the league didn't think that Desmond Bain was worth 4 firsts, but they got it. So I don't know. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's an interesting way to.
You could look at it like John Horst did his job better than anyone else. Like if this is really what John Horst did to try and create a contender around Giannis, was making a handshake deal with Gary Trent and Rich Paul and saying, "Look, we're gonna pay him later more. But we want to give." Good on him, because that means if he wasn't getting dinged for it, he tried. I mean, they got us on the Bogdan deal, so they didn't get us on this one too.
Yeah.
It just makes you feel like what Tarkanian used to say about the NCAA, that when a big school does something wrong, they punish the little schools to try and show strength, but they don't really want to punish. Like, it just feels like they can pick on the Bucks sometimes, but maybe that's just my persecution complex as a small market fan.
Could be.
Yeah.
That's probably a big part of it, is that you're right. I mean, they did their job, and they, as somebody pointed out, and it's sarcastic, but it's true. They don't need to punish the Bucks because that contract's punishment enough.
Right. Isn't it?
Just enough. 4 years at 65 when they're already paying Dame for the next couple of years.
They are. I mean, the Bucks are in that type of situation, and they're going to be in that for a while. That's just what we knew this was going to happen.
Rich Paul client. Is Rich Paul now the Scott Boras of basketball?
I guess so. Everyone's so afraid to not do good business with
got to
Rich Paul
kowtow
and
to
Clutch.
him, and he's got the key guys.
But let me ask you, isn't it mostly LeBron? What's going to happen when LeBron leaves? Is Rich Paul's influence going to fade too?
That's a good question.
I sort of think it might, but Billy would love this question, so I should probably save it for him.
Yeah.
Billy loves stuff like this, but I sort of think it might. But listen, LeBron's still there on his big tour now, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I don't know what the Kalshi and the Poly markets are saying, but I have no feel. The one thing I do think is if he ends up going to Philly or Miami or even Golden State, and it's going to be another snub to Cleveland, because Cleveland's got their hopes up.
Yeah.
They're daydreaming about Donovan Mitchell and having Harden and LeBron take them to a title.
The other reason I don't think it'll be Miami in the end is because, and Bill and I talked about this, it's like, Giannis is about ego, hubris, things like that most of the time. He's not going to forget what Pat did to him and the bad blood they had over the cookies and things like that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's going to want to give Pat the satisfaction of going back there. Like, now Pat Riley's going to go bend the knee to LeBron again, which seems weird because everyone was afraid of big bad Pat, even LeBron. He was like the one to stand up to LeBron. Yeah. I don't think that there's got to be a lot of waxy buildup there, wouldn't you think?
You would think.
So that's why I don't see it happening.
In terms of the best basketball fit, though, is it the Heat? Like, the Sixers seem to have a lot of ball handlers, and
if he wants to handle the ball, then it might be so he can play the point, I guess.
Yeah,
but
and what about?
But really, he's not.
Cleveland
really,
might be good.
Cleveland would be good too, but then you have Donovan Mitchell there. It depends if LeBron sees himself as that guy, or he just wants to be a kind of a stretch wing four.
Yeah.
That's going to help the team, whatever way he needs to. A perimeter guy, 3. I'm not really sure because I'm not sure being a point guard is his best thing right now, but maybe it is. And the Heat need guards if he's going to play guard. The Sixers definitely don't. But I think if he gets past that, he could really help the Sixers by being a better presence inside, help Embiid and all those guards they have. So it is kind of interesting. The Dubs would just be, the Warriors would just be kind of like a retirement tour, I think, just because he wanted to play with Steph one day. That's kind of the way I look at that thing.
True.
Yeah.
There's a whole Reddit thread devoted, Armen, to is Rich Paul cooked when LeBron retires?
Oh, there you go. I thought
Clutch Sports, but
they've
got
about that.
They've got other guys.
They do have decent clients. It's just I think those clients are there because of the influence with LeBron.
Front offices don't like him because of he's got like this cartel thing going.
Sure.
He's got some football guys. I think he's got Jalen Hurts and some other guys.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize that. Okay.
Got guys in other sports.
I mean, he'll be there. He'll exist. I just don't know if everyone will do everything they can to acquiesce to his ability or his wishes.
True. All right. Keep them coming. 877-794-1973. Gets you into the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line.
I think we're going to have Hunter on the phone next.
All right. Hunter will be on the phone. We need our current electric superhero of the day. You got anybody in mind?
The guy I thought about was our guy that was the old St. Louis Cardinals.
That's what I was thinking about too, since you played that sounder back.
Why not? Yeah.
Who did not look for personal gain, even though he got some ancillary things like a minivan. It's not like he gave it up for nothing, but he was willing to give it up for nothing, which is why they gave him the swag that they did.
Tim Ferneris. I'll make him our
Tim Ferneris, public defender, working for the people. As a young man, he set the tone. He's our Current Electric superhero that they call current.com is the website. Current Electric. They got the superheroes on the side of the van, and they will help you. They're superheroes when it comes to all things electrical needs in the Milwaukee area. Hit them up. Call current.com is the website. I do like that, especially since the guy kept Hank Aaron's ball and then had him surreptitiously sign it.
Funny.
He handed the ball to Hank to sign it in 1994 and then got rid of it to a collector 5 years later. Yeah, I prefer the way the guy, the St. Louis, I prefer that route, actually. But then again, it was the Brewers were stingy, and all he wanted to do was meet Hank and didn't get to. So.
And this guy, Tim, really quick, had a great quote when he was interviewed about this 10 years ago about having no regrets. He said, being part of this moment led to so many other things in life. The thinking that money always helps make things easier, that's not always the case. With lottery winners, look, it turns into disaster. So I like his perspective on the whole thing. That's a great human perspective.
Good job. Good job. Hunter Baumgardt joins us next. We'll talk Brewers. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Continuing the huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew and Armen bringing it to you. Billy out today. He'll be back Monday, and I'll be gone on Monday. Taking a little week off before the Packers start camp. That's right. Packers start camp very soon, a week from Wednesday. And until then, and even after that, we will have baseball to talk about. And as it happens, our baseball go-to guy is on the NicoletLaw.com talk and text line right now. We say hello to our own Hunter Baumgardt. Hunter, welcome back. I know you're excited to get going for this, air quotes, second half of the season.
Yes, I am. No doubt about it. It's, they haven't had a home game in a couple of weeks. This was obviously a 3-city road trip into the All-Star break, so it's been a while. And then obviously you have the All-Star break mixed in there. So it's been a couple of weeks. Excited to get back to the ballpark today. And I mean, the team, again, going into a second half is in a really good spot. They're in obviously a 5-game lead in the division, game and a half back of the Dodgers for the top spot in the NL. So they're set up for a really fun stretch run. And of course, the first thing that will be probably on everybody's minds is the next couple of weeks before the trade deadline.
You and Kurt and Adam and Spencer, I know the Brewers beat could be that long apart from each other. Do you guys miss each other, or is it one of those things? Do you schedule a meetup? I mean, because Hunter, this is a long time for you and the boys to be away from each other. I mean, you know what I mean? This is tough.
Yeah, we haven't spent that much time apart since the season started.
That's what I mean.
If you think about it.
Yeah.
It's tough, and there's been a few tears shed, and then hopefully when we get back tonight, everything will it'll be like normal again. There is a rumor that we're trying to there might be a event of golf between us reporters there in the press box.
like
now
that.
This is not necessarily as you guys know, not necessarily up my alley. I can't say that I'm necessarily, not even good, but experienced in the golf side of things. So that would be, if this comes to fruition, it might even happen this coming week. If that happens, then oh boy, that might be a story to tell you guys.
That's something we'd have to document. Right,
yeah.
Drew? I mean,
digital assets for sure.
That might be something to document.
Good.
That's great to hear.
Along with the annual Pud Galvin Cup of the media against the Brewers front office and softball. That's always a big one too.
Just stay together. That's the important thing.
All right, so Hunter, brass tacks. First of all, everybody who was still bumming about the Pittsburgh, it seems like a month ago, but the Brewers lost 3 over the weekend in Pittsburgh going into the break. Next year, the schedule dropped yesterday. Brewers have another 3-city trip going into the All-Star break, but this one, though, is Cincinnati, Washington, and Cleveland. So they don't go to Pittsburgh, so let's consider that a victory. And then the All-Star game next year is at Wrigley, and the Brewers have a 3-team homestand coming out of it. So that's on the positive side.
It is, yeah. It's very similar to this year. 3-city road trip into the All-Star break, and then 9-game homestand or so coming out of it. That's exactly what happened this year. Last year's schedule is kind of similar. You open at home against an AL team. They open against the Angels on the March 25th, that Thursday. Then they have the Friday off, the whole deal. Their first road trip is against the White Sox and the Blue Jays. There's a couple of things when I always look for, okay, what's the longest road trip? What's the longest homestand? You look for, do they open at home? Do they close at home? They close on the road in Texas next year. But I always think it's just hilarious that the Major League Baseball, you have the schedule release, of course, and the NFL hypes it up. They do a whole week of it, the NBA. And then the MLB's like, all of a sudden on a random day, it's like, oh yeah, here's the schedule. And yesterday it was like, all of a sudden, I saw some people, Cleveland's schedule came out. Oh, Seattle announced their schedule. The Brewers had, a half hour later, oh, here's the Brewers schedule. It's like, it wasn't even all at the same time. It was like, okay, here.
Nope.
Exactly. So it's just funny how they do that. And it's funny how it's now. Like, I get it Thursday, the All-Star break, if you're going to do it, during the dead time of the season, but it would make a lot more sense if you, get everybody excited for baseball and, December. Although this year it's going to be like, well, what of these games are actually going to be played, and we'll see if the Angels game on the 25th of March is played.
That's true.
25th of March.
Well, we can worry about the labor stuff when this season is over. Too much to get to. Hunter, Lance McCullers, he'll meet the media today in Milwaukee. What do you think about that acquisition?
Yeah.
Armen and I were instantly flashing back to Julio Teheran.
Yeah, because you got 10 starts out of him, right? You got the most out of the Orange.
Yeah, that's a good comparison. I think it is. This is maybe a little more because I think Ron was if I remember right, a signing, and this is more of a trade, right? You give up something to get something. Not that you gave up something great, Jaden Fielder, we'll see what he does. Obviously, the son of Prince, you kind of, it's heartbreaking for fans, but obviously it's not a high level prospect or anything. I think it's a good bet for the Brewers. I think it's a guy, and one of the things Matt Arnold said when he talked to reporters after the trade is this guy has great postseason experience, and the like pitching in postseason games. And I think that quote stuck out to me. Like when the Brewers are making these acquisitions, whether it's the McCullers deal or whatever deals they make over the next couple of weeks, it's not just about getting into the postseason and getting whatever you can to get over the Cubs and win the division or get a wild, whatever it is, to get in the postseason. This is a team that's thinking about, okay, when we get there, because we expect to be there, we're 22 games over 500. We're one of the best teams in baseball. When we get there, how is the rotation going to set up? How is the bullpen going to set up? How is the offense going to set up, defense, everything like that? And I think this proves that, and that quote proves that it's not just about getting in anymore. It's about making a run and getting to that World Series that they were close to last year. So I think this is a move towards that. Now it's a risk. There's some risk to it, and Matt Arnold admitted that as well, because when you get a guy who's, been hurt for a lot of the last, 5 seasons, he's just battled in and out of injury and obviously hasn't pitched in the majors since May 13th. There is some risk associated with that, and he's been around for a long time. But I kind of, on the show last night, I kind of compared him, and it's not necessarily apples to apples. It's not exactly, the type of pitcher or maybe even the dominant type pitcher, but it seems McCullers was kind of the Woodruff of the Astros, right? Where he was there for a really long time. Really, the city loved him. He obviously won the World Series with them, had some great moments in that run and a couple of the runs that they made. And now it's time where his injuries are kind of catching up to him, and maybe it's time for a new start, and the Astros want to move on, save some salary. And so that's kind of what it seemed like a little to me, is the Brewers are kind of getting the Brandon Woodruff of Houston. Now, is he going to be effective? Is he as effective as he was early in his career? That's obviously a big question mark. But if he's on, and if he, uses that experience to his advantage, then, and the Brewers use that experience that he has to his advantage, and he's able to help maybe some of the younger pitchers as well. This is a young staff. Maybe that turns into a really kind of underrated acquisition as we go down the stretch. So I'm excited. I don't think, it's not a splash move, but I think it's a move that kind of is under the radar, like the Brewers usually do, and maybe it can help more than we think.
That's a great point. We mentioned that. Yeah. The Woodruff.
It's not going to be their only move either, I don't think. This will be.
Also, don't you think, Hunter, that, obviously he was a starter his whole career, but it doesn't have to just be a starter. He can be a valuable bullpen arm that might give you a couple innings in an important spot in a game 2 or 3. You just don't know how that'll all shake out. If the Brewers, got, analytics guys, pitching lab, whatever their research staff might identify certain pitches that they want him to focus on more. You saw them do that with Quintana, where a certain breaking ball rates went up higher, and they say, we think you can mix guys up for a couple innings, keep them off balance. That might be where his value lies.
Totally, especially in the postseason, where some guys are, if you're a starter, sometimes you go to the bullpen and vice versa. Like everything is kind of, we saw Trevor McGill start game 5 last year. So obviously in the postseason, anything can happen as far as what they do with their pitching staff. So yeah, I definitely think so. I think they're really good at using guys to their, whatever their best attributes are, and getting that out of them and putting them in the best positions to succeed. And right now, they might just need him as a starter, at least obviously to start things, just because of the injuries and the rest they're giving guys and whatnot. So we'll see if he's, he was going to be in Milwaukee yesterday, and then probably today they're going to decide, okay, is your next outing in the major league level with the Brewers? It could be. Matt Arnold said it could be, his next start could be with the Brewers at the major league level, or do you want to have him do one more rehab start? He had made 3 outings for AAA in the Houston organization, and was pretty good, 2.45 ERA over those 3 outings. So he seemed ready. His velocity and pitch count was better in that last outing. Kind of seems okay. Maybe he's ready to rock and roll at the major league level. So if that's the case, then we might see him today, and you might see him in that Mets series next week.
Where is Colton Gordon headed, Hunter? Is that Nashville for sure, and then see? Because having a 27-year-old lefty, I'd like to see what Chris Hook and Jim Henderson can do with that kid.
Yeah, for sure, right? That they're kind of people are kind of saying this might be the gem of the deal a little bit. It reminds me of he's the Shane Drowan to the Kyle Harrison. Like he's the like Kyle Harrison was the headline of that deal, and of course for that deal to work, Kyle Harrison needed to be pretty good because you were giving up your starting third baseman, and there's a lot of hype around him. But then also like Shane Drowan was very intriguing. They're both lefties. There's a guy who can start and be in relief. I kind of seems the same way where if they get Colton Gordon in here and they're able to get the best out of him like they did Shane Drowan, he could kind of be in that similar role, and he's got a lot of years of control in the future as well. Yeah. So it's interesting how Matt Arnold is so good at kind of getting, okay, we got McCullers. Who else can we get here? Maybe, can we get this guy who, may struggle a little bit? He's only pitched in 4 games for Houston this year, and he's, his ERA was like above 11. But, at AAA, he's made 14 games, 13 starts, 3.69 ERA. Like, he's been pretty good at the AAA level. Let's see if we can get this guy in here. He's going to start at AAA first, and then eventually, I would think, because he was added to the 40-man, so we'll see. I would think we'll see him at the major league level at some point in the rest of the season, maybe get a couple of starts in there in Nashville. And then maybe if there's an injury, he comes up. But yeah, this could be kind of the gem as far as, a guy who can kind of do anything for you that you need. And you get, Chris Hook and Jim Henderson on him, and you never know what can happen.
Hunter Baumgardt joining us. He's brought to us by Import Minded, your trusted source for vehicle care on 27th Street, just north of 894. Import Minded is the spot. Okay, so Hunter, what can the Brewers do? And one of the big things that people are going to be focusing on when they fire up tonight. First of all, what's your thought? Will the roof be open or closed tonight with the smoke?
Yeah,
what's better?
Oh, I was debating that yesterday. I was also debating like if the smoke would have been it's supposed to be a little better by the time we get to the ballpark this afternoon, and then and this evening, it's supposed to clear out a little bit. But if it would have been yesterday, I think there would have been at least a consideration of a postponement, just because it just was so bad yesterday. I do wonder what they'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
I know the Phillies moved their game up a half hour to try to avoid the worst of it last.
Right.
Was the roof was open in the morning yesterday and then was closed in the evening. So I'm eager to see I guess closed if you close everything up, but it's also going to be 92. So I don't know. I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like pick what, you're going to bake in there if the roof is closed and it's 92.
I think you have to pick the heat as a poison if you had to pick one of two, because at least the air in theory would still be better. But, we were talking about this. You have to find a way to get the bad air out and keep good air in, and they don't air condition the place.
Right.
So I don't know. There are vents and things like that.
Donovan Jorgensen.
They need our guys at Donovan Jorgensen.
Absolutely. All right, Hunter, the other thing I want to ask you is I saw something that the Brewers have the toughest strength of schedule in the second half, like number 1.
Mm-hmm.
But they're opening with the Marlins, Mets, Rockies, Giants, and Angels out of the break. I know it's going to get harder from there, but that seems like a pretty soft open. Those are not, those teams. I guess the Marlins are decent, but the Mets, Rockies, Giants aren't really going anywhere.
No, you're right. The Marlins, I'm eager to see what happens this weekend. The Marlins are definitely a team on the rise, and the Brewers took 2 or 3 from them in Miami earlier this year, back in April. But I'm interested to see how good they are. Obviously, they're playing better now than they were at that point, and it's kind of finally coming together a little bit for that organization. But otherwise, the Mets have not had a good year. We all know the Rockies. Brewers swept them in Colorado. Giants, they split, but they're obviously not having a good season, and the Angels are the Angels. So I do wonder too, like you get to the Giants and Angels, it's the week before the trade deadline. Are some of those pieces gone for those teams? Are they even in a worse spot? We'll see what happens there. But you kind of got to take advantage of this because then you have the road trip of the Dodgers and the Padres coming up. You have their series against the Cubs, and in September you have some other, you got the Phillies on the schedule and Cardinals again, and like you have some teams you're gonna have to face. Now the Brewers are really good against teams over 500 this year, so like it's not like this is they're scared of anybody or anything, but it is true that they have a tougher schedule. But take advantage of this early. Get some series wins against these teams like the Mets and Rockies, and just don't let what happened in Pittsburgh carry over to the second half. I know a lot of fans are probably thinking that, just let's get back on the right foot here and take, even just tonight, just win the game to kind of put that in the rearview mirror and not have anything carry over into the second half.
Well, yeah, and especially, the Cubs open home against the Twins. So the question is, they've been 20-8 in their last month. So the question is, how hot are they going to be? Will they continue? 5 games back, they're right there now, and you're aware of them. So I think we're going to start being aware of what the Cubs are going to do. And if they even out or continue this streak, either way, the Brewers have to win to keep that because the pressure's on.
That's right.
Yeah, totally. I think, and with the trade deadline too. We're talking about obviously what the Brewers are going to do. The Cubs are going to do something too. So that'll be interesting to watch. And they'll be, by the time those two teams meet, they meet twice in 3 weeks, or twice in 2 weeks, I think it is. Back in late August or coming up in late August and early September. And by that time, what do the Cubs look like? And is their team a little different as far as some trade acquisitions, especially on the pitching side where they've been decimated this year. So we'll have to watch that.
They're going to do some things. On the way out here, Hunter, what can the Brewers do to get Christian Yelich going to the break? Obviously had to help him. He's been grinding and struggling, and he's such a big, important piece for them. What do you expect to see from him this weekend and just in the second half?
Yeah, I don't think, taking him out of the lineup is going to do any good. I do think you got to consider taking him out of the top, though. Like, if you're having a guy that just is not getting on base at the top of your lineup, that's just hurting your lineup. So, like, as much as, we want Yelich near the top, I just don't know if that's, that's wise. Is he going to, you're not going to bat him 7th. You're not going to bat him 8th or not. Like, I get it. And Pat Murphy is pretty set in, having him towards the top of the order. But I don't know, like, if you have a different guy who's getting on base. I like, Mitchell being at the top, whether it's leadoff. I don't know if it's necessarily leadoff, but that 2 spot, that 3, he's earned being maybe in that top 4 because of the way he's been hitting the ball. So however you want to configure that, though, obviously you put Churio in there and Terang and Contreras, how you configure that. I think, wisely, especially against a lefty, I don't know, maybe you do put, Churio and then Terang and then Contreras, and maybe Mitchell is your cleanup and then Yelich is your 5. I feel like that might be the best way to configure that, just because when Yelich is hitting this way and not doing well, that hurts your lineup if you're not able to get your leadoff guy on base. So, and look, it's, Terang has had his down parts this year, although he was pretty good into the All-Star break. And Churio, it was a little up and down towards the last couple of weeks there, and Contreras did not have a good road trip either. So, yeah, I'm interested to see what Yelich does. I'm interested to see if he can turn. He's a big piece to that offense. If you're hitting in the top 5 of the order and in one of the best teams in baseball, you're obviously a key to the offense. I do think we'll see better stretches from him at some point. Is it right out of the gates? We'll see. Maybe the rest does him some good.
Got a preview show tonight before the opener, Hunter?
You bet. 5:30 this evening, Fox Sports 920 in Milwaukee, and our social channels might hear from Lance McCullers Jr. Also, we are expecting probably an update on Brandon Woodruff as far as what next steps are for him. He was transferred to the 60-day IL before the All-Star break, but we'll see what the timeline is on him. And then, any other news that we hear as far as, okay, when's Miz going to make his next start? What's up with Kyle Harrison? Some of those news items, we'll have all of it for you at 5:30 this evening.
Right. Good stuff. We'll be listening. Hunter, thanks for joining us. Have a great day.
Thanks. Have a good weekend.
All right. Hunter Baumgardt joining us here, brought to us by Import Minded. When we come back, we close up shop for the week. Yes, right. 2 shows without Billy's giggle in here. We miss him, the big fella. But when we come back, we will close up shop with our Wake and Bake story from happyplacehemp.com. Use the code HUDDLE at happyplacehemp.com for 25% off and free shipping. The Wake and Bake finale is next. You're in the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Drew and Armen closing up shop, the Huddle, Fox Sports Radio, Wisconsin. Time for our Wake and Bake story. That's how we close things out every day. HappyPlaceHemp.com is the website. Go there, fill your cart, use the code HUDDLE, 25% off and free shipping no matter where you are. HappyPlaceHemp.com. Check them out. Rob and Chris. Go to the store in Muskego. Discount works. Drop HUDDLE. Say you listen to us. Same thing online, and they ship statewide. The products are legal, local, and fantastic. Today's Wake and Bake story, Armen, comes to us. Dateline, Indianapolis.
Oh, boy. Here we go. Indianapolis. Let's go. Let's get a good one, Drew.
All right.
This isn't my porta potty story, is it?
No.
Okay. All right. I'll save that for next week.
Nope.
Yeah.
An Indianapolis man, a 48-year-old man, his name is Eric Smith, is facing felony charges for criminal recklessness.
Okay.
And as with many criminals, this guy's a veteran, and he this is one of the dumb crimes.
Got it.
He posted a YouTube video of himself in his backyard shooting at a bag of coffee.
Okay, trying to show off his.
It was a bag of
marksmanship.
Starbucks, and it was a form of protest.
Oh, he was protesting Starbucks.
Yes.
Wow, by buying their coffee.
But
okay,
he lives in a densely populated area, and
what did he shoot?
As Tommy Thompson, no, not the former governor, but the Indianapolis Metro Police Department officer Tommy Thompson said, when you recklessly shoot in a densely populated area, it's very dangerous, puts everyone at risk.
Very true.
Searched his home, recovered a rifle used in the shooting. Police believe the bullet could have traveled nearly 1.5 miles once fired.
Well,
He's filed a motion to dismiss the case, insisting the charge is based entirely on speculative assumptions of hypothetical harm where no victim has been identified. They're claiming this is careless, but where's the risk when there's no one there?
The risk is the possibility, guy.
Exactly.
You don't know there's nobody there unless you've canvassed it.
He says,
if you're going to get out this weekend, everybody, and shoot at bags of coffee, just think twice.
Yeah, that's the thing.
What
and
did you
your
think
protest.
is-
Well, people
okay.
were shooting at Bud Light stuff earlier, and
Just know there are consequences to actions.
he
That's
was
all.
released from jail on a $10,000 cash bond. But yeah, if he'd have done it, he says he lives up against a wooded preserve and it wouldn't have hurt anything, but it was dumb, and it was even dumber to post video on YouTube. So that's our Wake and Bake story from HappyPlaceHemp.com. We'll see you Monday. I'll be off. Billy will be back. You guys are going to have some fun. See you in the Huddle, 5 a.m. We'll see you in a week.
Peace.